I'm Marcus Aurelius Maximus of the Royal Roman Army.
We're going to the base screen. We're going to get ready to roll.
Hi,
We're much bigger now.
I'm in danger.
Stranger danger, stranger danger. Yes, so let's see, about 8:20. Well, I guess we can go ahead and get it rolling with the intro. Are we ready?
Yes.
Let's go. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 142. Yeah, 142 of Ghost in the Night.
Is this a word? Always brewed using the choicest hops, best barley, malt, and rice. Is choicest a word?
I do not know. Do I look like a grammar freaking major? I barely speak. I
don't know. I got on the Googles and I fucking checked that God damn it, Jim Jones post that I made, the fun fact one.
Yeah.
I checked my sentence structure on that just so I wouldn't get roasted in the comments.
You have to.
As if we get a bunch of comments.
Actually, sometimes. Anyway.
I had some comment interaction on Instagram over the last week.
Yes.
I had one with Strange Brew, which send us your fucking promo, guys.
We would have played it tonight, but didn't get back with us. But tonight is episode 142 of, and our final episode of the West Memphis 3. We're going to get through this shit tonight.
It's going to be like 4 in the morning. We're just sitting here with bags under our eyes like,
No.
make it stop.
No. I have to get done with this tonight, and there's a reason for it.
Because it consumes you.
I was talking to a young lady this weekend,
Yes.
and just casual conversation, shooting the shit,
Yeah.
and I said, oh, well, where are you from? And guess what she said?
West Memphis.
Not West Memphis, but Arkansas. And I said, when'd you live there? She goes, in the late 80s or to 90s, mid 90s. I was like, so you know the West Memphis 3? She goes, what are you talking about?
What the fuck?
I was like, what? She goes, I was
going to say, I wouldn't even have asked if she knew the West Memphis. So you just grab her by the shirt like a fucking, like a detective movie from the 30s and be like, did Damien Eccles do it? Tell me right now, you piece of shit.
And, I was like, you got to be kidding me. She goes, well, I was in high school. I didn't pay much attention. I said, what?
It was high school kids that were involved in this shit. How the fuck did you?
Like,
you probably had mutual friends unless you lived on the other side of the state.
And then quickly I realized, okay, I need a life. If this is important to me.
I mean, this is what we do.
But I need not to be
speaking of what we do,
what?
I need to get with you. I want to order merch.
Okay. I've been thinking about it anyway.
So. I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, dude, I have to get a t-shirt or something.
Right. Well, I'm going to officially get my party started. Hold on.
I threw mine in as a background noise for the intro.
I know. I heard. We heard. Oh.
Dude, that's become my favorite little part of shout out Necronomipod. It's just the random times they'll be like, and then the killer awoke to the police at his door. Just softly in the background. It's like they tried to take the can away from the mic. It just never works.
Yes, but tonight we are doing part 3 of, like I said, the West Memphis 3, our final episode. We're going to talk about the arrest, basically. We're going to talk about the trial.
Because the arrest and the trial are not that long of a conversation.
Right. I mean, and we're basically going to give our opinion. Well, we're going to talk about how the story ends.
We're going to butt-fuck this story into submission.
And then we're going to go balls deep into our opinions of this. Because like I said in episode 1, this is a long, long time ago in episode 1. It has changed my way of thinking about a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Some things I was hard fast on, I'm not so hard and fast on. I'm just hard on, not fast.
Speaking of hard-ons, interesting question or thought of how you would feel. What if every time you made the spermins, your dick made a fart noise? You're just like, I'm gonna every time. Like you're 15 years old and you're at your house and you're in the shower for 30 minutes and then your mom's like, come on, you're gonna use all the hot water. God damn it, I know what you're doing in there.
Yeah, that was.
You little piece of shit, you're just like your dad.
All right.
Your dad was dick farting his way all the way through high school.
I guess We got as many as we're gonna get tonight.
Yeah, I mean, fuck us, right?
Fuck. Damn. This is
normal time for us too.
This is kind of depressing.
Yeah.
Anyway, Gonzo's here. That's all that fucking matters.
Cheers.
We're not even getting. He's not even getting a glass, a shot glass for that shit. Nah, I'm good.
Pussy.
I don't think I've ever had American honey. I'll just stick with.
It'll do you.
I don't know why nobody's in here.
I don't know.
Gonzo.
Go fucking find all your friends and tell them to come in here. Go activate your fucking bullshit troll accounts. Fucking
Yes.
get their asses in here, you piece of shit.
Where's Ghost in the Morning? We need him right now. Okay, so tonight we're talking. Like I said, we're going to start with the arrest. Now, what led to the arrest of these three teenagers was very simple.
Yeah.
They
I mean,
had-
it usually is.
They had Damian Eccles on the radar from jump. We know this. And like I said, they brought him in on the 9th. This happened, what, the 5th? They brought him in on the 9th. And
Wavy.
there was tips saying that he was part of it on the 9th. So he was on their radar from jump, and they were arrested.
I mean, realistically, he was on certain people's radar before this shit ever even happened.
There was Jerry Driver was just waiting for somebody to be murdered.
Jerry driving a dick up his ass, that piece of shit. Don't get me started on Jerry
Yeah.
Driver. I will literally just right up his butt.
Don't do
I
it.
will drink the rest of that I will butt chug the rest of that American honey out of his rectum.
Sweet.
Just to teach him a lesson.
But they were arrested roughly 30 days, or about a month after the murders.
Yeah.
Now, what led to the arrest was...
Which not a very quick arrest, really, for what was going on.
No, I mean...
That shit takes time.
Yes, an investigation... And this will lead into the opinions when we get to the end. An investigation takes time, but there was so much pressure, such a high-profile case.
Yeah, it's 3 8-year-old kids.
Right.
Murdered and mutilated.
They were under a lot of pressure to solve this case. Or at least arrest somebody.
Pressure!
Which is what they ended up doing. Now, last week we talked about Vicky Hutchinson, who
That
basically
bitch.
implicated, that didn't implicate, well, yes, she did, but she knew they were looking at Damien, so she played it up.
She's a sack of shit.
And we'll get into her a little bit at the end of this when we're giving our opinions. Vicky Hutchinson put Jessie Misskelley on the radar of the police.
Yeah, that fucking asshole.
And
8 years old. Yeah, sorry, Gonzo. You've been here every fucking episode.
not pay
How do you
attention
not
to it?
know how old these kids were?
So, Vicky really got Jesse involved in this case by saying he could introduce.
Yeah, that innocent little
Damien.
idiot.
And as we talked about last week, little bit of a mental midget. It's okay though.
He was just dumb.
He wasn't the smartest tool.
Some people are born dumb. Jessie Misskelley was one of them. Book dumb.
Probably street smart as a motherfucker, but
Hell of a roofer.
she is what put Jesse on the radar. They brought him in for questioning.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, somehow these super cops, I don't know how they did this, but what they did was they brought Jessie Misskelley in for questioning, and somehow, just to find out about Damien, got him to confess to the whole thing.
That's what I want to know. I have a feeling that every part of me believes that like they were interviewing him and interrogating him, and then they're just calling me like, "Now, Jesse, what did you do on the night of the 5th? Were you with anybody that can corroborate your story?" And then you just have fucking like the Rockin' standing tall, kick through the door comes Jerry Driver like, "Where's Damien, you sack of shit? I know he done this."
Now, he was interviewed by Gitchell and Ridge, Batman and Robin of the West Memphis Police Department.
Robbing people of their fucking freedom.
Yes. Basically, I've heard a lot of the. It turned out to be an interrogation. Now, I've heard time-wise, there's a lot of different times. I've heard he was there for 12 hours, but he was there for more than 2 hours.
I mean, yeah, as far as I know, he never went home after they took him in.
Breezy's here.
Ski.
I've heard anywhere from 6 to 12 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. So and I've heard the tapes of this. Now, whether it's 6 or 12 hours, there is only about an hour documented, recorded.
Yeah.
And it's the hour.
And I don't even think it's a like continuous
no,
hour.
No. You can hear stops.
Yeah.
Where they're not getting the right fucking answer they want.
Yeah.
And
Where Jesse's going, no, they were at this place at that time, and I was with them, and I seen them there. And then they're stopping, and they're like, now, Jesse, if you want some Blue Moo cookie dough ice cream, you're going to have to tell us what we want.
Right. Pretty much, honestly, that's pretty much how it went. But now, Jesse, like I said, confessed to the crimes and said he was there with Damian Eccles and Jason Baldwin. They did it. Well, Jason and Damian did the murders.
I just watched and jacked off.
He was there, and according to his story, one of them, I believe it was Michael Moore, ran away, and he went and picked him, brought him back, and then he left.
Michael Moore, Bush did Columbine.
And brought him back. And he started giving details of this.
He hit him with the deets.
And they sucked.
Yeah.
I mean, if you listen to this, it is basically, here's what he said. They hit him with sticks. They tied up their hands. Well, first, time frame.
Yeah.
He got the time all fucking wrong.
Yeah.
The boys were seen
It
at
was
6 o'clock.
He fucking rehashed the timing of this shit at least twice from what I saw, because I read a lot of these transcripts, because they have dictated, if you will, transcripts of these situations in pretty much every interrogation.
Right in their notes, yeah. But he started out, this was a morning time thing. Jason called him in the morning. They got there early in the morning. The boys skipped school. They murdered him and went on. Okay? So the time was all off. Now, it went from like 9 o'clock in the morning to noon. Eventually, the Inspector Gadget
it's fuck
fucking
them
got
all.
him to the right time.
Fuck all of them. They're all like, it's like if fucking Commissioner Gordon from Batman got hit in the back of the head with a fucking shovel that Paul Bunyan used to dig holes.
Right. So they're
just all like, hey, you're under arrest. No. You did the thing and I got poop in my pants. Go ahead. I'll handle YouTube if necessary.
You handle these. So the time was all off. He basically told these detectives that the boys skipped school.
Yeah.
Which the boys were seen at 6 o'clock. So the time was all off.
Untrue.
They kept leading everybody leading Jesse to eventually get the right time. Then the details of his confession.
Yeah.
He was so fucking off. It wasn't even fucking funny.
Yeah, that was in like by the time what they ended up using as a confession was the most coerced sack of shit ever.
Right, and we'll kind of get
like they literally took a kid with a borderline
mental disorder.
Yeah, like an IQ so low that he was borderline something, and basically were just like, "You want candy? If you want this candy, you gonna tell us they use black shoelaces to tie them boys up. Now I tell you." And he's like, "Yeah, I want the candy," and they're like, "Here you go, little buddy. Now, turn on the recorder."
If you listen to the recordings of everything, he did say they tied. He admits or he confesses that they tied the boys up.
Yeah.
He says they ran. One of them ran, like I said, Mike Moore. He brought him back. Then he admits that all the boys are tied up. And a convenient fact, these super cops said, "What were they tied up with? Rope. What color rope? Brown rope. Okay.
Press stop. God damn it! I'm gonna beat the shit out of this little fucking kid."
They were tied up with their own shoelaces. Shoelaces and rope very similar. Black shoelaces. Brown rope.
Yeah. Same. Different, but still same.
Yes. So, I mean, don't let the facts get in the way of a fucking good confession.
Yeah, let's not fucking let facts be a thing in a fucking triple homicide investigation.
And besides that, they kept on saying, how were they tied up? Their hands were tied up.
Their hands were tied up.
They tried, you listen to these tapes, they were trying to get him to say the hands were tied. Could they
modified hog-tied, basically.
Could they run? Yeah, they could run.
Well, there goes your fucking confession, cocknuts.
Finally, they just fucking gave up on it because they weren't going to get it.
Like, God, just go gargle each other's ball sacks and fucking kill yourselves.
Now, if you listen to the confession, if you listen to it, he makes Jason to be out pretty much the one who did it all. Was the worst one.
Which, is surprising, and not because like you would think it's surprising because him and Jason were actually friends, and he wasn't really particularly friendly with Damien,
they were acquaintances
but
by
he knew more about Jason, so he's clearly going to have more corroborating evidentiary shit to say about him than he is Damien Eccles.
Right.
Because he's never fucking around Damien Eccles other than a couple times in his entire fucking life outside of school.
So throughout they get out of him, okay, was there a knife?
They got out of him.
They got out of him.
They got off and they got out of him.
Hey, that's generally what happens. You get off, you get out. In and out quick.
And then you run and scream so they don't call you again.
He basically said there was a knife involved. A locking knife, which is basically your pocket knife.
Yeah.
You fold out
a folding knife.
Which, we'll get to the trial, that's not what they found, the evidence they found.
They use a samurai sword.
The murder weapon was off.
Yeah.
And it was so...
The timing was off. The murder weapon is off. The method of subduing and tying was off.
Right.
The kid's brain was fucking turned off his whole goddamn life.
Right.
And so was the fucking audio recorder, apparently.
At one point, they got all this, what we've talked about. The prosecutor, I forget, Fogelson or whatever the fuck his name was.
Fogel! Hi!
That fuck nut.
They're all
He was
nuts.
watching, and I guess Gitchell's and Ridge's dicks were harder as diamonds. Diamonds couldn't cut.
Of course they were.
They went out and I guess even the prosecutor said, we got some problems. You're going to have to tidy this up a little bit.
Yeah.
He didn't. He confessed to nothing basically because it was all fucking wrong.
Hey, stupid.
So they went back in, started the recording again, and that you could, if you listen to this, it is the most coerced thing. He said basically that he brought Michael Moore back and left, which is how they ended up arresting him because it makes him,
he's an accessory.
Right. That's how they arrested him.
Yeah.
But you hear, they went from, what time did you get there? Oh, about noon. Well, it could have been about 5. Do you have a watch? Are you wearing a watch? They were just leading him down a path.
Do you know how to read a watch?
And by the time, I'm glossing this over. Please do your own research and look into this. There's, you can find it on, there's 1,000 podcasts.
You can literally go online and find, you can do what I did. You can literally go online and find the actual case file on this shit.
Right. So they just kept, no, that's not right. And he, like I said, he repeatedly said, I left. Okay. And then you could hear Ridge and Gitchell say, okay, well, what happened? They tied him up. I left. Okay. Well, what happened next? Did they rape the boys? And that's another thing. He said they sodomized the boys. They basically banged the booty, which that's.
Well, yeah, because
we'll get to. Later.
he said Damien masturbated over them. Correct?
I think so. Yes,
and pissed on them.
Yes, but there was sodomy going on. They even
it's in the Bible.
They even went so far as because they're saying, did they do oral on the boys or did the boys do oral on them? Sure, what the hell?
Did you know that there's a different term that fellatio is not the term for face fucking someone? There's a different scientific term for it.
What is this?
I don't know. I didn't remember. It was too long.
I
just found it interesting.
Face fucking with either one of us has never been referred to as long. Come on.
It's funny because it's true, and it means two things.
Yes. Now, and we'll get into this one in the trial. There was no sexual assault of any of it.
Not in anything I read. And like I said, I actually dove. I didn't go fully extensively through it, but I did crack the case file that I could find on this.
And when we talk about trial, might dive in a little bit more of this.
Trial.
Even the ME, medical examiner for you lame people, said there's no evidence of sexual assault.
Yeah. Now, which is a very evident thing, especially when you're considering it's an 8-year-old kid. You're not going to sexually assault a child and not be able to tell.
So, no sexual assault. Knife
Fulkers.
was wrong. Rope was wrong.
Fulkers. You're not only stupid, you're wrong.
So, we're batting 1,000 here. None of this shit lines up. But they accepted it because they eventually led him down the right path. I'm sweating my nuts off. Jesus. And got him close enough to where they could arrest him.
I can move the fan if you
And
want.
he thought he was going home.
Yeah. He just wanted to go home and watch wrestling and NASCAR with his dad. It's so sad.
They even told him,
he literally said, I just want to go
kicker.
home and watch the race with my dad. Like, that's so fucking sad.
Here's the kicker. Oh, I wish I had my fucking notes.
Fuck those notes.
Aaron, we talked about Vicky Hutchinson last week.
That
Aaron,
bitch.
Her son, Aaron Hutchinson,
That twat.
had already been in, and they had recordings of him.
Yeah,
So
her fucking like 7 or 8 year old kid. That's that evidence. God.
they
killed him, and then Barney sang.
They played a recording in the interrogation room when they weren't there
Yeah.
of Aaron Hutchinson's voice saying, "Only I know what really happened."
Of
Like
course,
a ghost.
a little kid would say that.
But played it.
Or anything. A little kid will say anything that pops into their fucking imagination. I bet you he was coloring with a crayon, and he was just like, only I know that.
They played it when they weren't in there. It was just Jesse in there, almost like a ghost talking to him.
Yeah, Jesse, the kid that
Is
has and he also has a emotional at least to an extent connection to that kid.
Now, whether or not he actually understood that, knew that was Aaron Hutchinson, I don't know. But how dirty is that? Playing with a kid.
Oh, that's Joe Dierte.
I mean, fucking these cockbags. They should be
Yeah.
strung up by their scrotum. If I ever see Gitchell or Ridge,
I have
I'm throat punching both of them.
I think I have our next true crime case as well.
Okay. So,
You just reminded. This is how you remind me with my Bud Light talking.
basically, they figured, fuck it, we got enough.
Got him.
Got him.
Wrap it up, boys.
Arrest Jesse.
Fuck them all. Get them. Go round them up with their Metallica T-shirts. The little pieces of shit.
We got our satanic ritual killers. We're going to go get the rest of them.
Prepare to be fucked by the long arm of the law.
So, they go pick up Damien and Jesse. Damien and Jason. They already had Jesse. Now, Jesse still thought he was going to fuck home.
Yeah, because that's what they kept telling him.
Now,
They basically told Jessie Misskelley, if you tell us what we want, what we need, and what we want to know, you can go home and watch the fucking NASCAR race with your dad. The most wholesome fucking thing a kid can want to do.
and maybe you'll
And
get
wrestling.
maybe you'll get that $35,000 so your daddy can get.
Yeah,
a new
the same
truck.
reason why that stanky fucking yeast infection, dirty fucking like bag of Frito chips and fucking old moldy wheat bread stinking bitch fucking did all that shit for the cops.
Right. So they arrest all three.
Sorry, I really don't like that chick. That whole part of the story really pissed me the fuck off.
They arrest all three, and I need to do something real quick.
He needs to turn off his notifications from Pornhub.
No, I'm trying to get my notes down properly.
Hey, Phil, have you checked out Giant Gapey Hole's new video uploaded on August 22nd?
No, what the weather.com? I don't give a fuck. It's hot. I don't need to know that.
Yeah, it's hot as tits. Holy fuck. Like, I walked out the house today, and I shit myself and lost 4 pounds in water weight.
Yes. Okay.
And that was early. That was like 8:15, 8:40.
So they arrest all three. Now, we're going to get into the trial. They had to try Jesse first.
Yeah,
'Cause
because
they
he
were-
was the one that they had something on.
'Cause-
First, they had concrete evidence, a
With his
confession.
So he is assigned public defender.
Because none of them have fucking money.
They're all dirt fucking poor. They make me look like a 1%er.
Right. Like, I'm Donald Trump compared to these kids.
And he is assigned a fairly young attorney, Dan Stidham, who is really one of the heroes of this case,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
because he stuck by him all the way. Even after this shit went through and he was no longer his attorney, he thought about...
Wait, the only reason he had to recuse himself was because he was a witness.
Yeah.
He
You can't do that.
He was going to testify in this possible upcoming trial. Which
Yeah,
was,
you can't do... Well,
Right.
because I'm pretty sure... Did he not go on to become a judge?
Yes, he is currently a judge.
Yeah, because he wanted... He like, this shit rocked him to the point that he almost stopped his career in law. But because of Jessie Misskelley and how he got treated and what happened to him, he thought that he would be doing himself and the justice system and Jessie Misskelley and these other two kids an injustice by stopping law when he could continue his career to try to change something at least.
Now, when Stidham,
Which fucking, I don't, wherever you are, if you happen to watch this, go you, dude. You got fucking, I bet you he's got the prettiest cock this side of the Mississippi, that side of the Mississippi. I bet you he's like gold leaf, like filigree, and like it's fucking pinstripe painted by like Kat Von D. I want to see it. I'm just saying, Stidham, if you're out there, show us your dick.
you're the man. I respect him, but
I might even touch it.
he came into this case saying, "Okay, read the confession. We're going to play. We're going to get. My job is to keep this guy off death row." No, he did
Because
it.
that's literally on the line.
He did it.
Yeah.
He. And after talking to this young man, he even stated this several times. Jessie Misskelley repeated his story to him.
Yeah.
His confession to him, and it kind of with variations. And he even said he started looking at he looked at the confession, was like, "What in the fuck is this? It's all fucking wrong."
Yeah.
And then he kept talking about. He even said Jessie Misskelley didn't know what a lawyer was.
He did not know what an attorney was. He
Right.
thought they were cops.
He thought he was a cop, so he was just telling.
So he was talking to his lawyer like he was talking to the cops because he didn't fucking know the
He
difference.
thought that was what he was supposed to do.
That's what we're dealing with. That's the that is the just blatant fucking flaming induction fucking just like injustice and what's the word, just like abortion of law enforcement and human decency that sparked this whole fucking shit show.
Now, he said one of the big turning points. Now, keep in mind, the prosecution and the state is pushing the satanic ritual killing. This is what we're doing. This is what we're going with.
Fucking sacks of shit.
He recounts a story.
I can't wait to be done with this story, dude. I've been so fired up on this shit for 3 fucking weeks.
Stidham walks into and is in a meeting with him one time, and Jessie says, basically, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, "Can I ask you a question?" And Stidham says, "Yeah, sure, whatever. What do you need?" But by this time, he knows something's fishy about the confession, but he still probably much thinks he's probably did it. And Jessie goes, "Who's Satan?"
Go on, I'm listening.
And Stidham goes, "What do you mean, Satan?" He said, "I got this letter from a minister talking about Satan." And Stidham goes, "You mean Satan?"
Hi, Phil's mom.
"Hey, how you doing, Mom?"
Don't mind the liquor. He's not drinking it. I am.
"I'm just drinking beer."
Try it. It's not bad.
Give me a minute. But he said, and Stidham said, "Do you mean Satan?"
Yeah, the
So this satanic,
really shitty vegan meat.
this satanic ritual killer
Didn't know who Satan was.
didn't know who Satan was.
Yeah.
Had been to several espats, partaken in orgies in Satan's name,
But
and
didn't
did
know
not
who he
know
was.
Satan was.
Yeah. What about Bob?
So Stidham obviously said this is a false confession, and that is a real thing. And there's 2 camps to this.
Oh, yeah.
There's 2 camps to when people look at this. Those who think they're innocent. Well, there's 3, I think. Those that think they're innocent. Those who swear by to God they're fucking guilty and they did it. And then there's a 3rd camp who, and I think probably I fall in this.
So do I.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, like I can't.
I'm leaning one way.
Yeah, like from what I've seen, hard shit, like evidence writing in front of me, I don't think these kids did it.
Yeah.
But I personally can't say that I can, without a doubt, rule out the involvement of in any way of all 3 of them somehow.
So,
Even if it was just walking by and seeing what was happening and being like, nope.
So those
I'm
are the
going to
camps.
Wendy's. Fuck
And really,
that shit.
The guilty and not guilty are the 2 camps, the main camps.
Yeah.
All I know is a false confession is a real fucking thing. And that pisses me off. How many basically
It happens all the time.
that's
You can get a retrial off that shit. Like,
That's
even
an-
if your confession is accurate and you can say if you get a good enough lawyer to say it's a false confession, you can get a retrial and get a fucking appeal off of that.
that is the big thing with the people who say that they are guilty. They're holding their hat on this confession because he confessed multiple times, even after the trial.
Yeah.
And let everybody know, that's common.
Yeah.
For
well, I
people
mean,
who made-
according if you go by the secondhand accounts of shit, Damien Eccles confessed multiple times to people that were supposedly people that he confessed to that have attested to the fact that they weren't even in the fucking place that Damien Eccles said he was at the time.
Right. So, but that is common with false confessions. There have been many people on death row that have gotten out of death row because
Yeah, it happens all the time.
DNA evidence.
Yeah, you have there's 14 levels of appeals to get off death row.
But
like you can have up to 14 levels to get off. After that 14, I guess you're cut off.
But DNA evidence had proven some of these murderers that confessed multiple times. There's no way they could have done it.
Oh no, you know what DNA stands for in this particular situation?
What?
Dick nut assholes. You fucking piece of shit, West Memphis PD fuckers.
Tell us how you really feel.
I feel like they should all have to do the amount of time in the same fucking situation that all of these cats did in prison.
Well, I'm going to give my thoughts on that at the end when we
literally everybody that was involved with putting them in jail and damning these kids for that long. They should have to do 21 years or 19 years or whatever the fuck it was in prison, and at least half of them should have to be on death row like Damien Eccles was.
So they broke this off into 2 trials.
I'll break it off in them.
Jessie Misskelley's trial because they needed his confession to convict the other 2.
Because he was the only one they had.
Yes.
They didn't really have dick but circumstantial evidence on the other 2.
What was I going to say?
Something about butt stuff?
Yes, twice and 3 times on Sunday.
It stinks.
They
nice and good.
Tried him first, and Stidham's whole thing was a false confession. You know,
let me go back in time. I'm in the back of the court. Try me, motherfucker.
You know, Stidham didn't have any money to bring in experts. He had some expert testimony.
There was some
that actually volunteered their own time. Now, I forgot to mention this. They did give Misskelley a polygraph. That Dunham, I believe that was his name, who came out and said...
The guy from Ohio?
No, that's Griffiths. Dunham was the polygraph guy from the West Memphis PD.
Yeah, because that's foolproof.
Right. He actually came out and said he's guilty as hell.
Dude, it's laughable.
Right.
When you think of where we're at now in 2021, where polygraph testing is inadmissible in the courtroom now because it's just more often not, like, you can fail that shit strictly because you're nervous, because who the fuck isn't nervous when they're talking to the cops about murdering 3 fucking kids?
Right. So Stidham had an expert look at this who worked with the FBI, who was an FBI lie detector guy, whatever.
Polygraph administrator.
Right. For the FBI.
The English language.
He looked at his... Because this was one they actually kept the records on. Damien Eccles, they never kept the record. They just said he failed. They no way to prove he failed.
Right.
But they kept the chart or whatever, I guess the graph or whatever. And this guy...
The transcript, I don't know, the printout?
Yes. He looked and he said, he didn't fail this.
Right.
There's only one question he failed.
Yeah.
Which was the last one, I believe.
What's 9 plus 10?
No.
21?
Have you ever used drugs? And Jessie said no. And he lied about it.
Which most people say. Every kid's going to say no to that.
This is the only question he failed.
Yeah.
He showed deception on it.
I want to... See, this is what I'm saying. Like, just from my shitty comedic standpoint, I want to be a fly on the wall for some of these, because I have every feeling, I have every inclination in my body that FBI guy just turned around and was like, "Are you fucking stupid, bud? Right. This shit's straighter than a goddamn ruler. What the fuck are you doing?"
Right. So Stidham could not really use him because the judge in this, what was it, Burkhead or Burke? What was his name?
Cockfuck.
We'll call him Cockfuck.
Cockfuck.
He's a U.S. Senator now, but...
All rise.
Honorable
Honorable Cockfuck is entering the court.
Yes.
Please be seated on the Cockfuck.
Would not let him testify on behalf of the lie detector test because it wasn't admissible in court. So
because when the FBI says that you've read it wrong, you probably read it wrong, because if anybody's going to be good at it, it's going to be the fucking FBI. It's their job.
Which I can't disagree with the judge on this. If the actual polygraph, supposedly failed polygraph, is not admissible in court, the guy can't say he passed it.
Yeah, just send his ass home.
Send his ass home. So he moved on to this false testimony.
Age is just a number, Gonzo said.
I don't.
Words of wisdom from Gonzo.
Gonzo.
Age is just a number, Gonzo, 2021.
So he moves on to, he's pushing this false confession narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And literally, the judge tied his hands when it comes to.
Hot.
He had, I forget the expert's name that he had talking about false confessions.
Lady Gaga.
No. Close. But the guy was wearing a meat suit.
Like Ed Gein?
Yes. And literally every time he'd go to ask a question, the prosecution would throw a shit fit. It got so bad, the guy, they had to do several sidebars. It got so bad, Stidham would write down the question before he even asked it, take it to the fucking judge, and say, "Can I ask this question?"
Yeah, which is not,
Yeah,
that's not that uncommon of a practice, but it was to, a sarcastic level in this case.
Right. So, they hogtied fucking Stidham when it comes to his defense.
They should have.
This case.
Oh, wait, no, Stidham's fine.
Stidham's good.
Show me your dick.
And it didn't last that long. The jury came out and said, guilty.
Fuck that kid.
But let's be honest, this was such a high-profile case. The whole town was in a satanic fucking panic. And I'm gonna go off on my fucking dragon rant on that.
How country do you think this courtroom was?
Oh,
Chairman of the jury, do you have anything to say? Who's your favorite NASCAR driver, Jesse? Dale Earnhardt. He's fucking guilty. Bobby Labonte or nothing. Go fuck yourself, kid. Have fun rotting in hell.
They found
electric chair. Fuck that kid.
They found him guilty because let's be honest, that jury, it was a foregone conclusion with that.
And from what I heard, the defense was not entirely satisfied with the selection of the jury. Because jury selection is very important for both sides.
Right.
Well, a lot of people also don't know that juries, you don't get jury duty and you're on the jury. There's 30 motherfuckers, and they whittle it down over a couple days to who they think will be impartial, or they're gonna obviously they're gonna try to get the people that they think are gonna side with them. But ideally, that's not how it happens. No. Ideally,
naturally, they need Jesse to testify for. They decided Damien Echols and Jason Baldwin to try together as one case or one trial.
This camera angle is fucking awful for me to turn to this left and yawn. It looks so weird.
Naturally, the prosecution wanted Jesse to testify at Damien and Jason's.
Because he's the only fucking thing they had.
Outside, we'll kind of get into some of the little bullshit.
It was all circumstantial.
Right. We'll talk about that.
He was the most damning thing in this, and he didn't even fucking know what he was doing.
Right. So, he basically says, long story short, he will not testify against these three. So,
which, he might be dumb, but at least he's a fucking gangster.
Yeah, I guess
I ain't talking to no fucking coppers about nobody else. I'll go down by myself.
He's not Sammy the Bull. He's not flipping. He's not turning state's evidence. You
think that Jesse? Would you testify against Damien Echols and Jason Baldwin? He just looks at them and cocks his head and just fucking spits in their face. Get the fuck out of here, you fucking pigs.
Now, even the prosecutors talked to the family after this first conviction of Jessie Misskelley.
Jesse?
They even told him, we're going to offer him a deal to make sure he confesses.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Testify. Naturally, they weren't happy, but they even say,
what's up, Izzy?
We only have a 50-50 shot of convicting these other two.
Yeah.
When it comes without his testimony and his...
And that's the shitty thing, is what kind of deal did you offer this kid? You still sentenced him to fucking life.
Well, he said no, because he would... And
good man. Fucking ride or die. I respect that.
Now, Jesse did have an alibi that didn't pan out. You listen to Stidham talk.
Yeah.
They blew that apart, and he says because basically there was an incident in the trailer park he was supposed to be at. Well, there was something about a wrestling match, which technically didn't alibi him out because he could have been made both Both.
Why are you crying, Jesse? Ric Flair's fighting Ravishing Rick Rude right now, and I'm supposed to be there with my daddy, and I'm not.
So then there was an incident in the trailer park where cops were called, and there was like 8 to 10 people that saw Jesse there interacting with the cops.
Yeah.
I guess a fight had broken out, and he was talking.
Go figure. Jesse Misskelley got into a fight.
I guess he wasn't in a fight, but he's there trying to keep the peace, or something to that effect.
Good for him.
The cop, they had witnesses to this. The cop, West Memphis Police, I guess, or maybe it was a Marion, or maybe a sheriff. I don't know.
WMPD, the worst motherfucking police department.
Actually, Sim said that cop lied under oath. He said he never saw Jesse. But there was 8 other witnesses saying they.
Which that right there, why does that not automatically basically get the case thrown out that a officer of a what do they call a servant of the peace or whatever the fuck lied?
Well, it's
in a testimony.
It's he said she said shit at this point.
He said fuck off.
They were going to take the word of the cop because they wanted to hang these guys.
I want to take that cop's fucking anal purity. Sorry, I get more. This is the part that really pisses me off is the trial. Everything else is fucked, but the trial's so fucking twisted.
All 3 of these kids had alibis for it, and they kind of fell apart a little bit, but it fell apart for a reason. Like Eccles' alibi, he was somewhere with his family at the time of the murders, then came back, talked on the phone. There was 8 or 9 people that corroborated his being at these people's house with his family.
Yep.
And like I told you earlier, one of them was the family member of the West Memphis police, officer.
Yeah, where you at, Shirlene?
But the problem is, and the people who say they 100% did this, because there are some inconsistencies in time. But here's the thing, what West Memphis Police Department did. They didn't interview some of these witnesses till months after.
Yeah,
like 4 or 5 months. The trial was going on.
Yeah, and mind you, like I'm a normal person, I think for the most part, and like if you waited till next week to ask me like a pun or a joke that I dropped on this episode, I'd be like, I don't fucking know, dude.
Right. I mean, I'm lucky I remember what I did 15 minutes before you got here.
Right. I can't even remember how much the shit I took this morning weighed.
That is one of the reasons why there are some discrepancies.
It's like I just rolled through that.
There are some discrepancies in all their alibis. That's why I'm not going to really cut into the alibis.
There's and there's also potentially too many of them.
Right. So we get to the Eccles and Baldwin trial. Just
to ixnay anybody, like, sounds bad, but there's alibis, and then there's alibis to other people's versions of alibis, and opposing points of view of, no, that's not true, they were here, no, they weren't, they were with this person, no, that person said they were never fucking there in the first place.
Right.
Like, it's just this big spider web of fucking horse shit.
And any trial expert will tell you when it comes to trials, alibis are irrelevant. The jury does
unless you can fucking have like photo or video evidence of you being somewhere at the exact time.
If it gets to trial, your alibi does not matter. Alibi gets you out of being arrested, possibly. It rules you out as a suspect. But if you are actually on trial, it doesn't matter what your alibi is. Back then. Now it's a little different with technology.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else, right, you're still going through trial. But even if the alibi does get you off, you're still going through trial.
1993, it's just...
In Arkansas.
In Arkansas, which, probably, 2 stoplights?
Down.
There's 2 stoplights.
You got a purty mouth, boy.
And the third stop sign is really not a stop sign. It's a cow walks through.
It's just a drunk dude holding a red piece of paper.
Trust me,
it's the same guy that sits there and puts fucking numbers up there when people come through town to change the population.
For any Razorbacks that end up listening to this, you might want to turn it off now, because I am going to go hard in the fucking...
Sorry, I mean, all due respect to the state of Arkansas, but I'm a fucking Longhorns fan. Fuck the Razorbacks.
Oh, no. I'm going to go hard in the paint on these fuck nuts.
Do it. Woo pig!
Towards the end, so you're going to have to listen to the whole fucking podcast.
How is that? Like, that's how you know your state sucks. I'm sorry. Your state university's fucking little cheer is, woo pig. Good job. It's the same thing that like a kid with a 4 IQ sitting on the side of the street eating a popsicle upside down says when the cops drive by, woo pig.
Now, another fun fact, and here's how fucked up this whole investigation was.
Oh, it gets worse?
Oh, yes.
Oh, my. I never would have guessed.
When it comes to a murder, what's one of the most important pieces of evidence?
The DMs.
Direct messages, no. The what report that gives you the cause of death.
Oh, the coroner's report.
You know what?
The medical examiners, yeah.
They arrested these three before they even had the coroner's.
Well, that's why I said earlier in this particular episode, like these kids were they were fucked from jump.
They arrested all three before the coroner delivered the report. He delivered it like 6 weeks.
If not the other two, if it wouldn't have been this, Jerry Driver would have found a way to fuck Damien Eccles on something, even if it wasn't this.
And
even if it was like putting him on probation and then catch him jaywalking to Walmart, he would have fucked that kid.
And this is why we talked about the sexual assault.
Well, he's
earlier.
a grown man now, but
we talked about the sexual assault earlier. The West Memphis Police Department were going on the assumption that there was a sexual component to this crime.
Yeah.
It wasn't on the ME's report.
Yeah.
And when he went,
the only DNA evidence I saw was blood and hair.
But eventually they found some hair, and we'll get into that. But
yeah, like blood on the scene from the kids,
right?
Because they did luminol test that area,
right,
and it did light the fuck up. But
I heard it lit the fuck up, or there was some evidence of.
I don't imagine when you're looking for blood with a luminol test, any you see anything, I'll be like, damn.
I mean, I don't think you're going to read a book.
Luminol test my fucking bed, see what happens.
Oh fuck!
It will look like it'll look like a queen size lightsaber.
I think we better be better off take a black light to a Motel 6.
All I know of is if I have to fold my sheets, I have to snap them in half every time I go to fold it.
Well, you got to rub one out. You rub one out. Fuck it.
It's like folding a very thin sheet of ice from the surface of a pond.
But anyway, I'm changing the topics. I apologize for this.
That's what I'm here for. I'm the comedic relief.
You have to listen to.
Yeah, well,
but
we talked about this though. Like, me being me, I have to throw those in there. Like, this shit is so fucking depressing for real. Yeah. When you think about we're telling this as a story on a show, but this is a real thing that happened to real people. Like, real kids lost their life. Real high school kids went to prison for longer than they were alive before prison.
Yes.
Families were destroyed. Reputations and characters in the eyes of everybody else around them were fucking destroyed. A town was shook. Legislation was changed.
Right. Oh, fuck. Before you bring it up. But this is why there's a discrepancy about the sexual assault. They were under the assumption that there was a sexual component. It wasn't on the ME's report. Now, I believe in trial, he said there was no evidence of sexual assault, and I can't rule it out. I can never say never, but there was no evidence of it.
I mean, I guess technically, because sexual,
but they would expect to see.
Please bear with me on the morbidity of this, but if one of those kids was forced to give their killer a hand job, that's sexual assault. I don't know that you can really test for that unless there is.
Well, they were
semen.
The West Memphis Police Department was going to, because of Jessie's confession, also as well, that there was anal sex done on the victims.
You would know.
You would
know if you and I got murdered and butt fucked before we got murdered, you'd be able to tell.
Well,
if
you murdered me and butt fucked me, there'd probably be no terrage.
Oh yeah, no. They'd just be like, I think he just took a big shit.
I'd be like, your
whereas,
are you done yet?
But realistically, we're talking about 8-year-old kids,
right.
And again, this is very morbid and very dark, but it's very real. If you sodomized an 8-year-old boy, you're gonna be able to tell.
There's gonna be some damage.
Yes.
There was not.
It's fucked, and anybody who would even think of doing something like that deserves to get shot in the fucking dick until they're dead. But circumstantially and evidentially, I don't know if that's a word, but
today,
you would know.
Yes.
It's an 8-year-old kid. We're not talking about a fully formed adult. It's a kid. Right. You're going to tell if something's been shoved up their ass before they were fucking murdered.
Right. So, let's get into a little bit. We're at Damien's and
Jason's trial. Ew.
We're on Damien and Jason's trial. Now, the prosecution, we've talked about this
Because Jessie Misskelley's fucked already.
He's already basically.
He's bent over the fucking the jury stand.
He's locked up. I don't think they've sentenced him yet,
but he's fucked.
Yes,
he fucked himself hard.
Or maybe he did. He ended up getting life.
See, that's my thing. Is like they said they cut him a deal, so you fucking probably lied to him on that. What kind of a deal is life? What? Okay, we're not. Okay, I'll never.
No, they never.
Because they have the death sentence, so life, I guess, is a deal.
They never cut him a deal.
Stupid.
They offered him a deal if he would testify, but he didn't take it.
I'd have been sitting there eating prime rib and drinking fucking Riesling and been like, "What do you want to know? I'll tell you. Maybe I'll tell you. You bring me some more of that horseradish sauce."
Well, so let's get to the. We're in this trial part. They did have some physical evidence.
Oh, yeah, we're good. We're making good time. We can wrap this up in another hour.
Oh, yeah, we can wrap this up in another. They did have some evidence in this case against Damien and Jason, even without Jesse's confession.
But they had some shit that might be able to stick a little bit.
Okay, the prosecution did not really commit to the satanic ritual killing right away. They wanted to play it by ear.
There's some sidebar shit.
They wanted to play it by ear and see how things go, because they knew that they had that ace in their hole.
Yeah, because really all that is demonizing the whole situation.
Right.
That's just that's your cherry on top of the whole fucking case.
So they did find some fiber.
Wow.
What we got?
Oh, never mind. I was looking at OBS. I was like, damn, I'm way off camera when I lean back, but I'm not. I can't take this fucking mug off the camera. Do you see this?
No. It's beautiful. They did have some fiber evidence.
Bitch.
They did have some fiber evidence. They had a red fiber and a green fiber.
So such bullshit.
We'll get into. We're going to get into
not bullshit. It was there, but like
we're going to get into it. Don't blow your wad early. Don't premature ejaculate on me. We'll get to it. They had a murder weapon. Now let's get into this. Well, no, they did not have a murder weapon.
They might have had a murder weapon.
They never actually said the murder weapon. They had a knife.
They had what they thought could have been a murder weapon.
Now let's talk about how they got this knife.
Just like I could beat you to death with this bottle of honey if I really wanted to.
Right.
Murder weapon.
Let's talk about how they got this knife. The prosecutor had a gut feeling.
Probably shouldn't have dragged that on the table next to the mic.
The prosecutor said he had a gut feeling in this case. So
yeah, because his partners were in his guts. That piece of shit.
He sent a dive team out to the lake that was in the trailer park right behind Jason Baldwin's house. Or trailer, whatever.
You mean Jason Baldwin's bathroom?
Yes.
I gotta take a shit. I'll be by the pond, Mama. Love you.
Yes, I guess. Maybe.
Mom,
I don't fucking know.
Mama, bring me the poop knife.
So, there's a nice picture of this. No, I'm good. You knock your shit out.
Puss.
There's a nice picture of this made to paper of a diver pulling up a knife.
Because you can't find that one. Really pissed me off. I don't mean to like cut you off this time, but like that one always pissed me off. You brought me on for a reason. Go ahead. But like, because you can't jump into any legitimate body of water and probably pull out one gun and one knife from almost every legitimately sized body of water, including water hazards on a fucking golf course.
Well, on this hunch,
they pull fucking cars out that have been down there for 60 years. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
I mean, the prosecutor, I think it's Fogel or something, whatever the fuck his name is, Fucktard. We'll call him Fucktard.
Fucking twat waffle.
He is a psychic.
Cum goblin.
He had such a gut feeling. He's the Gibbs of NCIS fan. For all those NCIS fans out there, his gut was on the money. They got there, and
because it was full of the money shot.
Within an hour, the divers got suited up.
Yeah.
And dove right to the spot and picked up a knife.
Right.
Within an hour.
Yeah.
They knew right where that fucker was.
Well,
now
I don't think the time period is that big of a deal because underwater metal detector.
West Memphis, they did not have an underwater metal.
Why? There's not. We can buy one on Amazon right now.
West Memphis. Barney did not.
It's West Memphis. We're not talking about Estonia. Like.
Yes, we are.
Go on.
He knew exactly where it was because they told him where it was.
Yeah.
Jason told him, I had a knife. I threw it in the freaking And I think his mom even corroborated because they got in a fight.
I mean, yeah, at that point, literally all you have to do is be like, okay, so a 16-year-old kid threw it. It's somewhere within 40 yards of this area of the coast.
The way the story goes,
I said coast.
The way the story goes, it had a sleeve, and him and his mom got in a fight.
Sleeve.
Him and his mom got in a fight about he was fishing. He used it to cut line and stuff.
Yeah.
And his mom got in a fight with him, and he got pissed and went like this to act like he was going to throw it in the thing. And he was holding it by the sleeve, and it flew out of the sleeve and went to the
Which
leg.
at that point he should be commended because in my mind he was probably going to stab his mom because clearly he's a heartless killer.
Yeah, and Satan probably told him to do it.
Kill your mother. Kill your mother now, Jason.
So
Kill your mom and come party with me and Charles Manson
they
40
basically
years from now.
Here's the way that worked. They asked him if he had a knife in interviews. He said, "Yeah, I had one. I threw it in."
Who fucking you interview anybody? They're gonna be like, yeah, even a little kid. They're gonna be like, yeah, we got a bunch of butter knives in the kitchen.
Here's the kicker: that happened a year before the murders.
Right.
But I told you, Jessie Misskelley's confession said it was a locking blade. This was a Rambo-style hunting type knife, fixed blade.
Yeah. Folding knives don't have fucking sheaths.
I know.
They have holding cases.
I know this. You know this. The morons in West Memphis do not know this. The jury all had a fucking IQ of under 65.
Like they pulled out a plastic knife from a Walmart box and they're like, I found it. It's right here. This the murder weapon, boy.
I guarantee you, out of the jurors, at least 6 of them misspelled the word guilty. Guarantee it.
Gilte. Guilty.
Guarantee it. So, now they have a knife. They never said it was the murder weapon in the trial. They just said this is a knife. It matches the possible striations on the boy's body. What the fuck are you laughing at now?
Where was Crocodile Dundee in this case? That's not a knife. This is a knife.
But they never said it was the murder weapon. Now, they basically wanted to say it was Damien's knife. And Damien, this was, I forget, just...
Yeah, Jason threw my knife into the fucking pond a year ago.
Basically, this knife was, I think, black handle, silver blade. Damien admitted to having a knife just like that, just it was camo color with a black blade. Don't worry about the colors. It's irrelevant.
I mean, you can make the argument of wear and tear from being in the water, but...
And there were marks on the body.
Chemical testing would tell you that there was a finish on that blade at one point.
There were marks on the body that were similar to or could have been made, according to the prosecution and the ME, from the serrated edge of that knife. Maybe. It looked similar.
Which, from what I understand, wasn't that also that idea was kind of poo-pooed later on?
Oh, we'll get to that.
Yeah, okay.
So now let's get to
foreshadowing.
The fiber evidence. There was a red fiber found and a green fiber found.
Freddy Krueger did it.
Yes. They pulled a red bathrobe from Jason Baldwin's house belonging to his mother and a T-shirt or some kind of green shirt from Damien's house, and they were similar.
Even if they were the exact same color, they literally, the experts said, that doesn't really matter because these could come from anything that is that color, that is made out of that material. Fuck off.
It was not a match. It was similar.
Yeah. And even if it was a match, it's not like it's a fiber. It's not.
Right.
It's not like we're talking about people that had Egyptian cotton.
They don't use it. This is junk science now. They do not use this in court today.
Right. We're not talking about fucking cashmere here. We're talking about fucking Minnie Mouse shirts from Walmart.
It's the verbiage they used. They used similar. Had an expert say, yes, these are microscopically similar.
Right.
And
in that,
what the jury heard was matched. It came. Well, first, if this was fucking satanic ritual, why the fuck are you wearing a red robe?
Right.
I mean, every movie I've ever seen, because that's where this satanic ritual bullshit comes from. The motherfucking movies.
Yeah.
They don't wear red robes. Well, maybe one guy does. The head Grand Poobah. Fred Flintstone with the
whatever
elk hat.
The Grand Dragon, if it's the fucking KKK.
It's black.
Yeah, what's up with that? Speaking of the KKK, why does the guy in charge or the security guys wear black?
I don't know.
Doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
I don't like black people. Honey, where's my black robe?
So.
And then you get even worse. I'm the Grand Dragon. Where's my purple robe?
So they pulled this green fiber, which was similar, but not a match.
Well,
similar.
Like I said, when we say similar, this means that like if
basically it's green.
you went out and killed somebody, well, and it's the same material. If you went out and killed somebody tonight, and they interrogated me for it and and they found a black cotton fiber from this shirt, it would basically, in this world of what we're talking about, corroborate that I did it because I'm also wearing a black cotton shirt.
Right. Well, it's black shirt, Mighty Morphins. Yeah, you probably did do it, you bastard.
What are you talking about? Mighty Morphin Power Rangers saved the world so many times. From Zed and fucking whatever that other bitch's name was.
So basically, at this satanic ritual that Jason, Baldwin, Damien Eccles, and Jesse had, they had a green shirt and a red robe. What was this? A gay pride fucking ritual? Not satanic? Where was the pink? Jesse had the pink probably. They just didn't find any fucking fibers.
I don't know. I just think it's all just fucking stupid, dude. Like, it's like I said, Freddy Krueger did it. You found red and you found green. Freddy Krueger or Santa.
Now
that fat sack of shit, Santa Claus, that son of a bitch. He done came down the chimney, took those kids, took their innocence, and fucking murdered them.
Well, it was his off season.
Round up the posse, everybody. Get your fucking pitchforks and torches. We're going to the North Pole. We're gonna butt fuck him into submission.
So, the fiber evidence, like we said, and we'll kind of talk a little bit about this a little bit more, was similar, not a match. Now let's get into. I think the jury, or not the jury, the prosecution get a little worried. They know they're gonna have to pull the heavy hitters out.
Yeah.
They decide to go balls deep.
It is warm in here today.
They had to decide to go balls deep in the satanic ritual side of this, and they brought in a gentleman by the name of Dale Griffiths.
God, I'm sorry. Whiskey was a bad idea. It's already kind of warm in here. Fuck, I should not have brought that with me, man.
Now, Dale Griffiths is their star witness.
Sorry, I'm not ignoring you guys. I just fucked up my screen and went full screen, so I can't read the comments anymore.
Dale Griffiths is a former police officer
from Ohio. Sack of shit.
From Tiffin, Ohio.
Tiffin, Ohio. You fucking piece of
So apparently Ohio has some blame in this because they produced this cockbag.
Can we record a metal album?
No.
Fuck.
Dale,
yeah, no, dude.
He is a former police officer who is
for a reason
now an occult specialist. Now, how he got brought into this case?
This shit's hilarious, you guys.
He knows Jerry. He had met Jerry Driver on several occult type lectures.
But please inform them about his education, Phil.
Oh,
this is the best part.
He had a PhD in the occult studies.
Yes, the activities of the occult, the realm in which they dwell, the way they work, the things they do.
Upon cross-examination, they dug into his educational background. The motherfucker got his degree from an online, unaccredited
No, it
school.
wasn't online at the time. It was a mail-in.
Mail-in. I'm sorry. You're right. I'm thinking 2000.
They were giving out PhDs in like
everybody
in like 8 months because that school was then disbanded because they were giving out PhDs to people for nothing.
Right. They literally, the prosecution or the defense asked him, how many classes did you take to get your PhD? Eventually he got out. None.
Yeah.
Read a few books.
Yeah.
Apparently,
it's just like I was looking at it like I think I'm gonna get my demonology registration or whatever the fuck.
I have one.
Yeah. I looked it up. They were like, you can do it in 4 hours. I was like, so I can do it in an hour and a half. Got it.
No, the one I did was 8 hours. I did it in about 2.
I'm doing it. I found one that's like $40. Actually, I think Kyle's gonna get one too because I found a website where they're doing buy one get one free. He was like, "Fuck it, I'll be a demonologist." I was like, "Let's do it, dude."
I just wanted the info. They said we'll send you a certificate. I said, don't waste the fucking paper.
I want the certificate. I'm gonna frame it and shit.
I think I can still print one out.
I'm gonna take a picture of myself with it and like put it all over social media.
I have the literature in that red folder. I'll show you tonight.
Excellent. You can read?
What?
You can read?
Yeah, I can fucking read. It doesn't even have to have pictures in it.
I can't read words. I can read Braille.
You know how I learned to read, right?
Porn.
Penthouse letters. I've been a delivery driver a lot in my life. Never once got laid from it. That's all. Apparently, Penthouse letters.
Yeah, I've never delivered a pizza and had a woman ask me if I've got an extra large sausage for them. Not once. I've never once answered a plumbing call and been asked if I was going to lay down some pipe.
Damn it, they lied to me. Anyway.
My teachers lied. They said I could be anyone I want to fuck.
Apparently, the viewers do not like the porn talk. Anyway, so let's
Cheers.
just say Dale Griffiths.
That one was on accident.
Dale Griffiths testifies that the satanic ritual idea is relevant in today's world.
Moving on.
A little TMI there, Bree. A little TMI. He delivered a fucking package, all right. Hello.
Sign right here.
That's an awful big pencil. 12 inches. Anyway. Did you ever see Bachelor Party?
A long time ago.
And they're at the Chippendales thing with the mom. And
Yeah.
You order a hot dog.
Yeah.
Is that a foot long? And then some.
Jesus.
You start pulling. Anyway, I digress. Some of Tom Hanks' finest work.
I don't know how they do it. That's going to be one that anybody who's listening on the podcast feed is not going to understand.
Anyway, so where was I at? Dale Griffiths. Whatever his fucking
Oh,
name.
Gonzo, tell me more, tell me. He said he bumped uglies with fucking Sandy from Greece. So tell me more, I don't know the rest.
Well, who does?
Now, if you want to talk about Rent, I can sing some Rent songs. It's a good show. It's a good musical. 525,600
Just stop.
minutes.
You're losing credibility in my eyes.
That's how I know how many minutes are in a year.
Okay. So Dale Griffiths is really, his whole premise is satanic worship is going rampant in the United States. They break the fucking law. They have covens.
They're the downfall of humanity.
They wear black, strange hair, which basically any goth kid is a fucking Satanist.
I wear black all the time. I have designs cut
I do
my hair
too.
every 2
I'm
weeks.
wearing a black shirt now.
Yeah.
You know why? Because I'm fat and it's slimming.
Oh, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna have the chick that cuts my hair do some like crazy metal demonic shit in my head
Put
next
a
time.
pentagram in it.
I'd do it. I don't give. Oh, I'll do the fucking Slipknot logo. It's like a variation of the pentagram. It's actually kind of sick. It'd take forever though.
And Dale Griffiths says if you listen to heavy, I'm just bypassing that. If you listen,
I know. And back to what we're actually fucking talking about. You fat Japanese piece of shit. This is why you lost World War II. You Pearl Harbor bombing bitch.
Don't wake the sleeping giant, motherfuckers.
Don't wake the sleeping giant. You dropped the sun twice. Fuck you guys.
Well, you fuckers wouldn't quit. We kept killing you. You guys wouldn't quit. We had to go.
I'm sorry that we have pride. I had this conversation recently. I still think they should have only dropped one.
Yes, we did.
We'll drop
we
one.
talked about this on the podcast.
Drop
I think.
one. Wait an hour. Make a phone call.
We talked about this on one of the podcast. Anyway, satanic.
Overkill.
Satanic rituals. Convinced that it's happening. They wear black. They listen to heavy metal music.
And like I said, every episode, what would Jerry Driver do if he heard my playlist on my phone? Because Metallica is like fucking... Metallica is like the Carpenters compared to what I listen to.
Oh, you listen to that Norwegian death metal shit.
No. I listen to deathcore, grindcore, slam, some black metal.
I did watch a special, A Headbanger's Journey, a documentary.
Oh, it's so good.
About that.
Yeah, he's got a company now, Banger Films.
Yeah.
He makes all kinds of shit.
It's like made like
Sam something.
done something like that.
Yeah.
It's like
16, it's a fantastic
16 years old. It's made in 2000.
Yeah, it's a fantastic
Oh, it's
documentary.
awesome.
He's made many ones. They're on YouTube of like different subsects of metal. They're fantastic. I love them.
He breaks it down completely.
Yeah, I love it. It's fantastic.
At one point, I'm sorry, hair metal, which we've had discussions about hair metal, is technically still metal.
It is.
And they even think that's satanic. Of course, Motley Crue played that all off, too.
Yeah.
They got that ball rolling with Shout.
I mean, we've had that conversation. Like, I still think as far as hair metal goes, like Rat and Cinderella were the most metal of all of them.
Yes. But, Motley Crue was
Twisted
Shout at the
Sister, I
Devil,
guess.
which actually, in my opinion, Shout at the Devil was the best album.
Shout at the devil!
And they were just playing it up. It was shock value. All that was.
Yeah.
But if you listen to heavy metal, you listen to Metallica.
They still do that shit.
And Metallica is not even that fucking hard. They're thrash metal is more what they started out thrash metal.
Yeah. See, but and that's where like the Metallica thing really pisses me off as a metalhead is like I love Metallica, don't get me wrong, but there's once you get to that thrash realm, you have a split.
Right.
You have the guys like Metallica and Megadeth to an extent, and then on the side that you should be pushing if you're going to try to push a satanic thing, Slayer. Red in blood, the menagerie is gone.
Slayer played up their satanic.
Yeah, Slayer was fucking sick.
They played
Slayer, fucking another one nobody talks about that these kids might have been into because they were the guys. Sepultura from Brazil.
You know who I don't trust?
Who?
Go back to metal days. Fucking Striper. Christian heavy metal. That's just wrong.
It's still a thing.
What was Jerry Driver and Dale Griffith's version of Striper? A Christian?
He's driving around listening. He's like these metalhead kids, and he like hits his 8-track player, and he's like, "Killing Satan worshippers in the name of my sweet dear Jesus."
That probably confused the fuck out of these two douchebags. Anyway,
fucking Gonzo always comes out of nowhere and tries to get me all riled up with Fozzy. Fozzy isn't even metal. Fozzy's like hard bro rock.
Fozzy is Nickelback on steroids.
I'm not going to disrespect Chris Jericho and Fozzy that much.
Will.
I won't, because Nickelback is literally Nickelback are the bottom dwellers
West Memphis 3.
Music.
We're getting heavy metal, but he was convinced, Dale Griffiths, that heavy metal, black clothes was the calling cards of Satanism. And in 1993, that meant 95% of the fucking kids in the fucking United States were satanic worshipers.
Right. To one extent or another, yeah.
That's how stupid this concept is. But they convicted these two at this point, 2 kids on this notion.
Right.
With circumstantial fucking evidence. I guess we could talk about there was blue wax found, which laid into the satanic ritual.
Because candles.
Nobody else has a fucking candle in 1993.
Yeah, no, candles aren't a thing.
With West Memphis, it's called power outages, motherfucker, or not paying the fucking bill. You light the house with fucking candles.
Or you just probably don't have electricity. Sorry, not sorry.
Guess what? I'm a single 48-year-old in 2021. I'm a single man. Guess what? I got a fucking candle.
I have a wax melter.
Okay, anyway. So I got
it for free.
I guarantee you there were millions upon millions of candles in West Memphis.
Oh, you would think so. It's a pretty common thing.
Once again, though, it was similar, not a match to what they found on a book.
Why am I so sniffly?
On one of Dominique's books, which is another story. Why the fuck wasn't Dominique fucking his girlfriend charged in this shit?
Bye-bye. Bud Light go bye-bye. Beer go down the hole.
So, we move on. So, we had fibers, circumstantial. Knife, not the murder weapon. This is basically a prop to make a point.
Yeah, basically a fallback at that point.
Which, if you're keeping
if they were smart, they would have just held on to that knife in case everything else went to shit, because it probably would have.
You have Dale Griffiths, who was a mail order PhD,
my tits are sweating.
Who thinks basically his whole version of satanic ritual was what you see on television.
Yeah.
Let me let these people know. This is why I hate fucking the whole satanic panic thing. It's so fucking stupid. The kids that wear black look goth. They're not fucking Satanists. Even if they are Satanists, there are several different kinds of Satanists. They're basically anarchists.
Hold on.
What?
Gonzo said I have the Delta. No, I'm Oriental. We're immune. Carry on.
Racist bastard. Anyway.
I will... I'm Japanese and I'll go after you in your own native tongue. Chingate punta pinche madre.
I've lost control of this show.
But yeah, well, and
here's the thing about...
Well, my whole argument to this is like, now it would be totally different. Because now things are like, views are respected from different parts of the world and different people and different ideologies and shit, to where nowadays somebody like me could sit there and be like, they'd be like, oh, they do this, this, and this. They worship Satan and kill babies. I'd be like, as far as I'm concerned, you going and taking a knee every 5 fucking seconds at your Catholic church and then eating a fucking wafer and drinking a liquid that some fucking weird dude in a robe gives you is the exact same fucking thing as a cult or a fucking ritual.
I've said that a million times.
So
religion is the occult.
Yeah.
By definition.
Fuck off.
But
one of your highest leaders is named after a baseball team, bitch. I'm just saying. The Cardinal? Fuck you. What is he, a direction? Eat my dick. Why the Cardinal? The Cardinal. He's so all-powerful and knowing. Fuck you. Suck my balls.
But when it comes to these kids are lashing, they're looking for shock value. Even if they consider themselves Satanists, it's just anarchy. It's just a lash out against Christianity, because Christianity, if you look into Christianity, and especially what was taught in the churches at this fucking time frame, even up to
and
the
God
day,
forbid you tap into the Old Testament.
it's fire and fucking brimstone. The end is
eye for an
coming.
eye. Yeah. Kill your fucking wife if she looks at another man.
Just like last man saying, there's a joke. Kyle goes to church. How was church? Oh, it was great. The world's coming to an end.
Yeah.
That's fucking Christianity. They're always preaching this. The end is coming. I'm 48 years old. I've heard the end is coming for 48
The end
fucking
is
years.
nigh. Yeah.
Okay, great. It's coming at some point. Let's, live our lives.
It's because, let's be real. Let's pull it in real close here. The church is in the fear and control business. Hence why everybody wants their kids in Sunday school, because you put the fear of God on them while they're young,
okay.
because it's hard to control grown-ups.
It's good to have an insurance policy, I guess.
Travi, out.
Sit your ass down.
I'm not getting up. You
But
kidding me?
that
The more I
is-
got to move, the more I sweat.
Most of what they consider, what Dale Griffiths considers Satanists, is just kids acting out, being douchebags, trying to buck the
They're being kids.
They're buck the system.
They're being kids.
This is what you don't like. I'm going to fucking do it.
Yeah. It's just like it's. I
the
have
whole point.
the equivalent. Like we all did it. When I was in high school, I was a little fucker. I got pulled out of class early to go to court when I was a kid, and I went to court. And the next day, I fucking walked in, and the principal, who fucking hated my guts, I walked by, and he was like, I got dropped off by my dad because I had to, because I'd skip school if otherwise. And I walked in, and he was like, "How was court?" Like in front of my friends and like all these other people. He's like, "How was court, Travis?" And I was like, "It went well, Keith. I'm still here, aren't I?" And he did not like that. And I was like, "Fuck you. Eat my dick. I'm young and dumb. You're a prick. I'll call you Keith. I won't say his last name, but I'm not calling you doctor or something because you've got a fucking PhD in musical sciences, you fucking cock goblin." You probably know who I'm talking about.
What's the last name begin with? I don't know him. Oh, yeah, okay.
His son was a fucking twat too.
Yeah. But
And a snitch.
Dale Griffiths.
Oh, thank you. It wraps around.
Daryl, or whatever. Griffiths, that douchebag.
Fuck nut.
Mr. All Hail Satan. Everybody's a Satanist. He was just basically, his mail order fucking PhD basically this was based on Hollywood. Hollywood doesn't work that way. I'm not even saying there's no Satanists out there.
There is. But they're not what you see on TV.
There might actually be, satanic, maybe, even though it's never been documented.
From my understanding of the Satanic Church, Satanic worshipers are hands down more pacifistic than any modern accepted religion.
Right. But there has never,
at least towards humans.
There are different versions of the Satanic Church. And
there's just like Episcopalians, Presbyterians, yeah.
But his version,
same shit, different toilet.
Griffith's version is basically based off television. There might be truly satanic people doing bad rituals, maybe even sacrifices, even though there's never been a documented case of a satanic ritual sacrifice proven in the court of law.
Right.
The FBI has fucking tried.
Just like there was never a proven case of somebody being a fucking witch in Massachusetts around the 1600s.
Yeah. The FBI actually tried to prove this. It does not exist. So this whole premise of this was a satanic ritual would have been the first in fucking history and the only one proven.
Yeah. But because it fit the narrative, it was okay.
they were pushing a narrative.
I wouldn't even say that I wouldn't even say that it fit the narrative. It did fit their narrative, but it was the only narrative they really had to really butt fuck these kids and put them in prison forever.
But my point,
which realistically, the shittiest part of this whole thing, personal opinion, is it doesn't matter if it was these kids. It was going to be somebody. They just had to put somebody away for this shit because it was so fucked up.
Right.
And these kids just got the short straw and they got butt fucked by the long arm of the law.
So, if you want to look for Satanic, I guarantee you want to find a real Satanist that might do some weird shit that's probably out there that just hasn't been caught yet.
He's probably like your sheriff or even higher.
They're not wearing black.
No.
They're dressed in suits or nice clothes, polos, khakis, whatever, and they're probably deacons in fucking churches.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even surprise me if maybe a minister's involved. Or, like you said, a sheriff or a doctor.
Yeah.
It's not a fucking 18-year-old kid wearing black, wearing a trench coat, wearing a godforsaken fucking Metallica t-shirt.
Yeah, you don't see fucking Jeffrey Dahmer didn't walk around with a sign around his neck that said, "I'm a serial killer."
These are the same motherfuckers that think that Elvis shaking his hips was a Satanist. The devil made him do it.
He put the power of the Dark Lord into my wife because for the first time since I've known her vagina was wet.
This is that fucking mentality. And this is my problem.
Same guy that said that about Elvis. My last name is Shapiro and I will name my first son Ben.
But this was the way of this was 1950s thinking.
Yeah.
A time
well, I mean, when you're talking bumfuck Arkansas in the 90s, I'm not talking shit about the people of that area. But
I'm going to talk shit about those colossal cockbags.
It's not the entire population's fault, but when you're talking about a small town in a rural area in what is still to this day one of the cheapest places to live because it is so behind the times, you can't expect them to be looking at things the way that L.A. looked at them in 93. Right.
That's like
it's just not how it works.
How Damien Echols dressed in 1993. Today, he'd be a cool kid.
Right.
Especially on
the only
East
reason
Coast.
I don't dress like that on a day-to-day basis is because band merch is fucking expensive.
But at this time, these rhyming fucking reverends, the devil was in everything. It was really like the Water Boy's mom.
I got fat because I ate McDonald's. That's because mac sauce is the semen of the devil.
And they created this fucking panic. And just because they didn't understand this horrific crime, it had to be Satan. No, it wasn't Satan. It was somebody fucking went crazy and fucking murdered 3 fucking kids.
Yeah.
The devil had nothing to do with it. Mental health or...
The devil, as you know him, had nothing to do with it.
Right.
The devil's inside of some shitbag human being had something to do with it.
The demon inside.
But as far as people like in this world, in that world, the realm we're talking about, it's one and the same.
Here,
someone's inner demons and the devil. It's the same fucking thing as far as they're concerned because they can't wrap their head around either one of them.
We all have every person listening to this, every person watching on YouTube, you, me, everybody in the fucking world has 2 sides. We have a good side.
The left side and the right side.
Yes. But we have a good side. We all have fucking demons. We all have a dark side.
Like every human being is a fucking piece of shit waiting to happen. If they're not outwardly being one at the time.
We all have it in us. Yeah. Every fucking one of us has it in it.
Yeah, like I'm Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky. I get along with everybody and I want to sing and dance my way through the day. But like, don't get me wrong. There's multiple times in my life where I could have easily just been like, I will literally set you on fire and then piss out the flames because I fucking hate you.
And it's not because the devil has come into me. I did this. He came in me with his hot semen demon.
He cummed.
It's not because the devil or demon entered me. I did this stupid thing. No, it's because I have a bad side and I actually leaned to the dark side. Luke. I was Vader.
You were the chosen one, Annie.
I didn't make a right decision. It wasn't the devil that fucking made me do it. It was fucking what was between my ears made me do it. I mean,
speaking from personal experience, mine is gangster rap made me do it.
But who the fuck am I? I'm just a fucking redneck from fucking Ohio.
West Virginia.
Well, from West Virginia, live in Ohio.
Stick it down.
But let's blame fucking Satan for fucking everything because it's fucking easy.
But yeah, because it's something that nobody knows shit about because, in personal opinion, not fucking real anyway. But yeah, like demonization doesn't have to be the devil or a demon. You can demonize anything. I'm fat. McDonald's is bad. I'm sad. Everyone else around me is the problem.
Right.
I'm a heroin addict. My parents were dicks. You know what I'm saying? And I'll speak to that one personally. Like, I blamed a lot of my problems on a lot of shit from my childhood and shit like that. But no, it was my head being like, I'm owed something because of me.
Right.
Like, no, motherfucker, get the fuck up. Like, what the fuck do you mean? People get fucking murdered. It doesn't mean that Satan did it. It means some asshole that was like, I'm going to kill these fucking 8-year-old kids and cut their fucking dicks off did it. Because he was a sack of shit, and he was probably batshit crazy, and go find him.
Okay. We went off a little bit of tangent. They pushed,
Go figure. On this fucking situation, no way.
Satanic fucking ritual. They brought in a fucking demon or a fucking occult specialist when the judge was such a fucking colossal douchebag. He hated fucking psychiatry. Wrote a master's in college about how psychology.
Wait, who were we talking about?
The judge.
Oh, the judge that said that that would not allow expert witnesses in the form of psychologists and psychiatrists in because he said that kind of science has no place in the courtroom.
But let a
Fuck you, dickhead.
But let a fucking occult specialist with a mail-in PhD fucking.
Yeah, with a fucking PhD that's printed out on a piece of 8 by 11.5 fucking printer paper. That was the yellow toner was probably out, so it looks weird anyway.
Got his satanic or his occult ritual from The Exorcist. I mean, that's literally it. He knows nothing about the fucking cult.
We know more about the occult than that fucking. See you next Tuesday.
You know, he knows nothing. What he thinks he knows is all fake bullshit. Bullshit, you fucking old antique crusty douchebag.
I was waiting for this episode because I knew this was the one that was going to get both of us kind of pissed off.
God, this Oh, I swear to God.
Okay, let's move forward.
Okay, anyway.
Let's get to the circumstantial bullshit evidence because this is what's really going to fucking send me over the edge, and we both know it.
Okay.
Other than Jerry Driver, because this has to do with Jerry Driver.
They convicted these at this
these
point,
3 teenage kids
on circumstantial
evidence. Well, one was already fucked, yeah.
Circumstantial evidence. And the fucking prosecution, even in their closing statement, said, this is all circumstantial evidence.
I take it as you will, basically.
But you put it all together, and he even said the fact that they wear black, listen to heavy metal music, you put that all together, and he pointed to Damon Eccles' head, he has no soul. And they convicted. Guilty.
Dude, they literally...
We didn't even get to Damien Eccles on trial or his testimony.
Well, I was just going to say, mind you, the prosecution brought up things such as a exact count of how many black T-shirts these kids had.
Was it 15?
I think it was like 13.
Oh, 13. I know.
I have more than that.
Yes.
They brought in from these kids' rooms their Metallica posters. Are you shitting me? Have you ever seen the album covers of some of the shit that I listen to? Have you ever seen a fucking Cannibal Corpse album cover? Half their albums aren't even legally allowed to be sold in like half the countries in the world just because of their album art, because it shows demons like fucking ripping living babies out of pregnant women and shit. Yeah. Like, and you're worried about fucking Kill 'Em All and Master of Puppets and Injustice for All? Fuck you, Jerry. Your mom's a hoe. I bet you your wife used to fuck dudes on the side. Your daughter's probably a meth head blowing people for money, and your son's hopefully dead.
You're right. We jumped the gun. I jumped the gun on into this real quick.
I'm just kidding. I hope the Jerry Driver's son's not dead. That's fucked up.
That is fucked up. They put Damien on the stand.
Ow.
Now, this did not turn out to be good.
I mean, it wasn't even just on the stands. Like, Damien, we can talk about it real quick with this, but Damien Eccles kind of shot himself in the foot at every turn possible.
He was an asshole.
He was a young, dumb kid.
And had a chip on his shoulders, hence why he dressed the way he did.
And we've talked about it, I think that a lot of it was him being a young, dumb kid and believing what you're fucking... And mind you, we've talked about this. I'm not, like, anti-cops or anything like that. But, like, I think that he was a little... what's the word I'm looking for here? He was a little... I don't know how to put it. He had the veil pulled over him a little bit. I think that he thought I didn't do this, so
Outdated.
justice is going to be served because I didn't do it, so I'm just going to be a young, dumb fucking kid and run my fucking mouth all the time.
Jason has even said this in interviews.
And I also said I think he's a pathological liar.
Jason has said this in interviews. He did not think they could, and Damon shared this opinion as well. How can they prove I did something I didn't do?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly how they just fucking did.
That's what I'm saying. So he ran his fucking mouth like a young, dumb teenage kid, and it ended up shooting him in the fucking foot a little bit.
Right. And, one of the pieces of, like I said, I jumped in. This is a great point, and we didn't cover this. This is kind of shit he pulled. He did blow kisses to the family, which was a complete dick move.
Even if he didn't do that, I'm sorry, but if just because he did that, every family member that was at that court hearing should have been able to walk up and fucking knock him in the fucking mouth.
Yes, I agree. And, he would smile walking in, kind of.
Yeah, he's just a cocky young prick.
That, an angry young man. I don't think we covered this. Did we cover this last week?
What?
When they tried to get him to confess, and in one of the interviews, he said, "I'll tell you everything. You just bring my mom in."
Remind me. Sorry, sidebar. Remind me the strange food shit.
Oh, there you go.
When we're done, yeah.
Did we talk about where they were doing? He said, "I'll tell you everything you want to know. I just want to see my mom."
Oh my God, I don't know if we touched on it on here.
Well,
We've
if this
talked
is a repeat,
about
I
it.
apologize. But he basically told the cops, "Listen, I'll tell you whatever you want to hear. Just let me talk to my mom." So they said, "Oh right, we got this fucker." They brought in his mom, and his mom goes, "What's going on?" He goes, "I don't know what they want. I can't tell him I did something I didn't do." That was the kind of dick shit he was doing. Granted, ballsy move, and I kind of fucking like it, but stupid if you're a prime suspect in a fucking murder.
Right.
Not the smartest thing. You don't want to fucking poke the bear. Now, they put him on the stand.
Yeah.
And they had some of his writings. And this is what a podunk fucking town this is. They started reading passages from some of his writings. And what's that? That's William Shakespeare, Macbeth. Obviously these fuckers do not know who William Shakespeare is.
Shocker.
And then they read another one. What's that? That's a metallic lyric. One.
Like I walk up to them and I'm like, "A rose by any other name is still smells as sweet," and they're like, "You suck dicks, don't you?"
Yeah.
Stupid.
But they read one that was a Metallica lyric. And
From one, yeah.
Yeah, and he said, "What is that?" He said, "It's Metallica lyrics from the song One."
Shitty song.
And he goes, I can't remember. There's a clip on it. If you've seen Paradise Lost, he talks about it. He goes, "Yeah, it's about the injustice, and it's a song lyric. It's a song about the injustice of the court system." And you can see Damien's face when he said that. He was like, "Oh fuck!" As he's on fucking stand in the court, wasn't the smartest thing to fucking say.
Yeah, he was just kind of he did behave as a cocky little shit. I'm not saying that should have put him in prison for 19 years, but he didn't do himself any favors.
No, he
definitely behaved as a bit of a cock.
He did not endear himself to the jury.
No, he made himself look like a fucking asshole. He
Right.
didn't you should be taking the time to fucking clean yourself up and present yourself in a respectable fashion to make yourself look like you're not a fucking sack of shit that kills 8-year-old kids.
Right.
And instead, you're being a little fucking young, dumb douchebag.
Now, let's talk about Jason's, before we get to the, wrap up the trial portion of it. Jason's attorneys, his attorney was this Steven Seagal wannabe looking motherfucker. Fucking, oh God, he should be throat punched too.
They should all be fucking throat punched. The only person that I like from this fucking story is Jessie Misskelley's attorney. Yeah. That's it.
The rest of them were dickbags.
Literally everybody else involved in this story is in some way, shape, or form I can't fucking stand.
But Jason's attorneys, his whole thing was, oh shit, we were getting blown up. Tell them, hey, we're in the middle of recording.
I'd message him back and told him I'd get back to him.
His whole game plan was to lay low. What?
Was that you?
We're getting Instagram fucking messages, notifications.
Well, that's because we're famous, Phil. Go on.
5 of them, damn it.
5? God damn.
Yes, 5.
No, I believe you.
5 notifications in the
fuck
past
yeah.
minute and a half.
Check out the Instagram.
Baldwin's attorney's whole fucking thing was,
yeah,
we're gonna lay low.
Yeah.
We're just not gonna fucking
Which
do
he
it.
literally did the whole time, and he got fucked for it.
He literally
I
called.
mean, he didn't get fucked any harder than the other two, but
He, I think, called one witness and said, "We rest."
yeah, because Jason, I heard a phone interview with Jason Baldwin. He was fucking pissed.
Yeah.
He kept getting told by his attorneys every day that they would go to court, no, tomorrow, I'm going to get you up there. I'm going to get you up there. And he never got fucking called because he still to this day has a fucking chip on his shoulder against that goddamn defense attorney,
Right.
which I would too. Fuck that dude.
Right. So anyway, we kind of we had to backtrack a little bit. They do closing statements.
The judge goes, well, boys, you're fucked. See you later.
They deliberate. The jury goes deliberates. Come back basically guilty. They come back guilty
in a pretty short period
I
of time.
think 4 hours. I
Yeah.
think, which is a pretty quick.
That's
amount of time.
fast as fuck because I
actually-
do believe that unless they take a recess, that if you start court early enough and you go to that deliberation, I'm pretty sure that's when the jury eats lunch too.
Yes.
So they're in there eating fucking.
Oh, they were playing euchre and shit. They fucking.
Hey, I love euchre. Don't demonize
Oh no, these
euchre.
jury members went in and said, "Everybody raise your hand." Guilty.
No, let's be real. They were probably a bunch of fucking. They were a bunch of window lickers. They
No.
were probably playing Go Fish at best.
Well, what happened was everybody said, "Okay." They walked into the room and said, "Raise your left hand or your right hand if you think they're guilty." And they all raised their hand. Some of them were left. Wait a minute, that's your left hand. Do you think you're innocent? It took them.
Right, they're like, juror number 13, did you raise the wrong hand? My favorite flavor of fucking poop is yellow.
I mean, that's how fucking stupid these. Anyway,
I like turtles.
they found them. It was over in an hour. 3 hours they dicked off. And
Yeah, they have
played
like a
poke the
3
puss.
months of fucking court case, and on the last day, right before they go to deliberation, one of the jurors is like, what's murder?
Yeah. Who's Satin? Anyway, so it come back guilty.
When the fuck did we get ice cream?
Comes back guilty, and here's the thing: I do like Jason, and we'll get to this.
He remained so calm and chill to this day.
Well, even you watch both of those kids; they're fucking 17 and 18 years old. They were in shock.
Yeah.
They didn't know what.
Well,
to
I think I think a lot of it, which I think was shocking to a lot of people with the way Jason Baldwin specifically behaved, is like you have the common misconception of a metalhead.
Right.
It's just like once people like, it happens all the time. I'll be like, dude, check this song out. It's sick. And people are like, you listen to that shit? I'm like, fuck you. You listen to fucking like the mamas and the papas every day. Eat my dick. Which like the mamas and papas are cool, but like it's the same thing as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
We're fucking making people out to be something just because of one little detail of their life, and it's something they like to listen to. That's fucking ridiculous.
So 4 hours later, they come back with a guilty verdict for all 3 capital murder cases for both of them. I just want to say, like I said, I think in episode 1 or 2,
Which by the time they sentenced those two, or they convicted them, Jessie Misskelley was already fucked up, right?
I don't know if they sentenced him yet.
But he was already convicted.
He was convicted. I'm not sure if it.
Like, he was already fucked for triple
think
homicide, basically, or at least accessory too.
They did sentence him. He was sentenced to life in prison
Yeah, without the possibility.
without the possibility of
Yeah.
parole. They come back, in this case, guilty. Now, here's where I've listened to a lot of podcasts on this. They did not understand, this jury did not understand the difference between match and similar. They were convinced that the fibers were a match.
Yeah.
It came from that robe and that shirt, when that's not what, it's similar. It could have come from anything.
I'm convinced there was more than one fucking shooter for JFK, but look where that fucking led us.
Yes. But it didn't matter what they say. They were going to convict because Damien Eccles was evil, and he was a Satanist. He was a Satanist leader in this community.
Which is so fucking horseshit and sad, because if anything, Damien Eccles was just a young, dumb fucking kid.
Right. So
Which I'll say that all day. He was a young, dumb fucking kid, but that doesn't mean that he needs to go down for fucking triple homicide.
They found them both guilty. Now, in sentencing, I kind of like this part of it. When they brought him back the next day or whenever for sentencing, he was in a fucking Harley Davidson t-shirt. Didn't give a fuck,
Yeah.
and sentenced.
Well, at that point, he probably really didn't give a fuck because I'd imagine him and his attorneys were like, dude, like, you're going down for something.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter what you do at this point. You might not you might not get the death penalty, but like, you're fucking going down for something.
So now we're at the sentencing phase. They sentenced Damian Eccles to death.
Yep.
They sentenced Jason Baldwin to
Life without,
plus 40 years.
which is just a kick in the dick. That's just just making an example of somebody.
Right. Well, life for one.
For a situation like this, like I get like if you killed fucking 13 people and raped 10 of them, like yeah, I by all means give that guy 10 consecutive life sentences just to shove it up his ass and break it off. But there's not enough evidence to be like you're gonna die in prison, and if you wake up again, we'll give you another 40, bud.
Yeah. Here's why I like Jason so much. I admire him to a certain extent. This is a 17-year-old kid, just got convicted to life in prison plus 40 years. Basically, once you die, they're going to keep you in a cell for an extra fucking 40 years until you're fucking a skeleton.
You're going to be buried under the prison for 40 years, then they're going to exhume you, and then we'll just throw you in the fucking river.
The judge said, do you have anything to say? Damien says no.
And what is there to say?
And Jason says, yeah, I'm innocent.
Yeah.
And the judge said, I'm sorry, what did you say? He said, I'm innocent. He said, well, and the judge is fucktard, who is a senator now. How the don't get me
That's
started.
how it works.
Which
friends in the right places and enough
talk
money
about
gets you
this.
anywhere.
We'll talk about him a little bit more. Going that him being a senator might be the best thing that ever happened to these kids.
Yeah.
He said, well, not according to the jury. Well, the jury's a bunch of fucking morons who barely could fucking form a sentence, probably.
That's my thing is like, dude, I have to give it to that kid for how young he was and what he was looking at. His composure was amazing.
Yes.
I'm fucking what was Jason Baldwin, 17 at this time?
He was 17.
So I'm almost 15 years older than him right now. And if I was sitting in his position right now at my age, do you have anything you'd like to say, Travis? You're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you. You're all fucking morons. I didn't do any of this shit, and I'm about to spend the next 60 years of my fucking life rotting in jail, and then possibly 40 more if for some reason resuscitation works on me. So fuck all of you. Fuck all of you. Fuck all your moms. Fuck your kids. Fuck their kids. Fuck your dog. Fuck the bus driver. Fuck that guy. What's that guy's name? Paul. Fuck Paul. What about you? Janet. Fuck her too. You know what? Fuck them all. Fuck this woodwork. It's beautiful. I love the carpentry. Fuck that shit. Fuck everything. Put me in jail. Eat my dick. Have a good night. That's how I would go out in this situation. And then I would just strip naked and just start shitting all over the place.
Nice. So basically, they sentenced all of these kids to prison with very limited fucking circumstantial evidence. Now, so they spend. We're going to speed up through here because we're getting close.
I was just responding to what my.
No, we're going to speed. We're about an hour and 40 minutes into it. I want to keep it close to about 2.
Yeah. Well, I mean, after this, it's a pretty short wrap up, really.
They spend 18 years.
Almost 19.
Almost 19 by the time they get.
I think it was like chronologic for their age. I think it was 19 years.
Damien has even said when he got out of prison. Spoiler alert: they're out of prison.
They got out in 2011.
2011. He had spent half his life in jail. He was 36 in 2011 they got out.
Yeah, and he was 18 when they got locked up because he was the oldest one.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
It was 18, 17, 16.
Right. They naturally, excuse me, appeals. Other evidence has been. There was like you talked about the hair earlier, which was actually matched to one of the stepfathers.
Yeah.
Hobbs actually is Stevie Branch's fucking father.
I mean, and John Mark Byers' name came up for some other shit, which I thought about. If we're going to talk about that, we might as well do it on the other show, on the Thursday show, or
we'll do a Patreon where we kind of really.
That's what I was thinking, Patreon, because that's all that shit is like interesting, but personal opinion, it's so loosey-goosey and
Right.
circumstantial.
Right. So
That's entirely
for
just opinion piece.
18 years, and this happened in 94, I think they was when 93 when it happened. 94 is when they went to jail.
Yeah, this was a quick fucking trial for what happened. Like triple homicide with all these extras thrown in usually is not a 1-year trial.
As we stated earlier, there was a documentary crew there filming the trial.
From HBO.
HBO, which is the Paradise Lost.
Hubble.
The Paradise Lost documentary.
Great movies,
it was-
but if you watch them, disclaimer, not really, call it a spoiler alert if you want. If you guys, anybody watching or listening to this hasn't seen Paradise Lost and you go watch it, they are going to kick you in the fucking mouth with some really fucked up imagery as soon as that movie starts. So if anybody goes and watches these, just be prepared for that. You will see, you basically see crime scene photos of these 8-year-old boys' bodies of fucking Christopher Byers, Michael Moore, and Stevie Branch. All three of them, you will see their dead fucking corpses in the beginning credits of this movie, which if you're interested in it, I would say go watch it. They are great documentaries, but the first time I saw it, I was like, oh
yeah.
What? It starts like a horror movie.
Right. They're on YouTube, but not the whole.
Yeah, if you have HBO Max, you can watch them.
It's on YouTube, but only like half of it.
Yeah.
It's like an hour and a half of the movie, but I watched it on YouTube. Okay, watched it. Metallica Sanitarium's playing. I'm like, cool, I like it. I'm digging it.
Down,
And then next thing you know, within like 20 seconds, I'm seeing a naked boy mutilated body. I'm like, oh, what?
Right, like I
what
love
in the hell did
horror
I just fucking
movies.
watch?
I love horror movies and watching like closed circuit TV shootings and shit like that. And I was like, what the fuck?
I mean,
because it's real.
James
like
Hetfield-
it's crazy.
I blocked out Sanitarium real quick after seeing that. But yeah, so go check.
I
that
know,
out
like
for-
you see these dead bodies. I'm like, please just leave me be.
But this
Leave me alone.
this
Get it?
movie
Sanitarium.
documentary was released in '96.
Yeah,
And
like they were shooting this shit as it was happening.
Yeah, there's courtroom, a lot of like Damien's testimonies on there, a lot of interviews. Excuse me. Oh Lord.
Yeah, that whiskey's giving me heartburn.
Yeah, that warm beer just gave me.
Might also be the skyline.
Now the documentary does paint this as this is kind of fucked up. There wasn't much to go on. They kind of lead it to these boys probably didn't do this. And so there was an upswell of people who said these boys got convicted with hardly no fucking evidence.
Yeah, a massive fucking just downpouring of support for these kids.
We're talking some big players got involved in
and
this.
not even just that, people, like basically early day web sleuths
Yes.
started a website for this shit and started pulling and like physical copies of court transcripts and shit like that to be like, well, look at this, let's post this on the website.
There was a devoted following of non-famous people that were really going after this.
Which the non-famous people were as
Important.
as integral to the freeing of these cats as the famous people.
Right.
I don't want to downplay the famous people. They're still fucking dope human beings, but like it was mainly like not to shout out, we'll list a lot of them, but shout out to all these people for standing up for what they believe in, putting money that most people don't have towards it, but like that money, the money on their end is what really did it.
Right.
And then actually, that's a lie. When you have somebody with as much pull as some of these people have, yeah, like the money is very important. It helped a lot. But like when somebody of that importance, with that amount of reach, even before social media says something, it automatically hits tabloids. It's going to be in Rolling Stone and fucking Loudwire and shit like that. Because we're going to get to it because it's a fucking pretty cool list of motherfuckers. It's a list of people I would love to party with.
The West Memphis 3 was actually started by just Joe Blows.
Just people.
Just people who said.
I think it was a woman was the first.
There was a woman and a guy.
Was there?
Started. I think
I just don't remember.
Ohio, actually. LA and
Aha. OH. Fuck no.
The home of Dale Griffiths. Anyway.
That shit.
But now, yes, some celebrities did get involved. They saw this documentary, heard the story. Guys like Eddie Vedder Pearl Jam for you old fuckers who don't know who Eddie Vedder is. Johnny Depp. Everybody knows who Johnny Depp is.
Peter Jackson
Peter Jackson.
of Lord of the Rings fame, the producer of Lord of the Rings,
Henry Rollins
of
Black Flag.
just an absolute punk rock god.
Yes.
Marilyn Manson. What?
No, I'm not even gonna. No, I'm not scared of Asians, Gonzo. Well, if they're flying planes,
If
fighter
we're-
planes, yeah. Oh.
He flinched a little bit. But see, and my favorite one is Marilyn Manson, because I love that Marilyn Manson, being who he is, from what I understand, basically came to Damien and them and was like, because of who I am and what I do, I'm probably not going to help you in the public eye, but I will offer you my financial backing outside of the public
He
eye.
wanted to stay anonymous.
Because he wouldn't have helped.
No, that
Like,
would've
nothing, like,
added to it.
I was going to say nothing against him at the time. He's got a lot of fucking heat on him right now with sexual assault and shit like that. Like, I don't even read into it. I'm over the cancel culture thing. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just, I can't handle the down,
Right.
the depressing headlines and shit. Like, but at the time, Marilyn Manson was massive within his realm.
Right.
He was the guy for that. At the time, he was the guy for that
He was the
twisted shock rock.
He was the poster boy for satanic shit,
Yeah,
according to.
he was he was a shock rock god.
Right. So, and even the lead singer of the Dixie Chicks.
It's
That
it's
whore
just
bag.
the chicks now.
Yeah, because heaven forbid Dixie gets used anymore. Yeah.
Just like it's not Lady Antebellum anymore.
What's
It's
Winn
Lady
Isn't
A.
there a grocery store called Winn Dixie? Or are they just Winn now?
I don't know. I haven't seen a Winn Dixie in fucking forever,
Oh,
dude.
okay.
Winn Dixie's down south.
But there was a lot of
Winn Dixie and fucking Piggly Wiggly.
Yeah, there was a lot of celebrities who did put their influence and money into this. Peter
yeah.
Jackson,
Put like-
at least he
Peter
paid
Jackson put like $5 million towards their defense.
it to the investigation. You know, later on.
Yeah, that's a lot of fucking money.
So
That's more money than I'll make in a lifetime.
right there was a lot of people that they still were investigating this. West Memphis wasn't. The state of Arkansas wasn't. But people were hiring these private investigators, and trying to get the ball rolling.
And we already touched on this. I don't expect dick out of West Memphis PD anyway, because West Memphis PD was literally under investigation by the FBI at the time
And the state police.
and the state of Arkansas. Like, what? It's the judicial system that I'm really mad at. I never expected anything from the West Memphis PD from jump anyway. Just arrest people and then fucking take them to court. That's all that anybody can expect from those fucking morons.
So basically they surveyed.
At the time, I'm sure West Memphis PD is fucking turned around. I'm sure they're great guys now, but in '93, suck a fat bag of dicks.
Naturally, they got better lawyers because they had some support from the celebrities.
Got millions of dollars.
There was,
It's amazing how millions of dollars gets you out of fucking prison, isn't it?
yeah. Well, we're going to get to that in just a second. The like we talked about, the best thing that happened to this case was that the judge got elected to the Senate because he had his foot on the.
Because they got him out of being a fucking judge.
He was the one in charge of all the appeals,
Yeah.
all the possible new evidence disclosure.
Yeah, he's basically just taking a roll of toilet paper made out of their legal paperwork that they would try to file and wiping his fucking ass with it.
He would not do anything, no matter what the defense was trying to promote or try to get through. He just had his foot on it, no matter what. It was a case closed.
I'm not even drunk. I'm just
He gets sent to the Senate, and the new judge comes in, and there is some apparently new DNA evidence that the defense claims they have.
fucking chair.
That they claim they have, and they are granted an evidentiary hearing to where they can include this new evidence to see if they can get a new trial.
Yeah.
And there was some jury misconduct things possibly going through too, because one of the jurors, there was some maybe.
Well, that's the other thing. I've heard a couple other cases recently where it was like something might have come out on social media or YouTube or something like that. Like, it was so early on that the crazy level of publicity this had, that would now be considered swaying the jury.
Yes.
There's a reason why in cases like this, if from what I understand, if it's a major case, do they not like you don't go to work and shit when you're on that jury.
It
You stay in a hotel.
This kind of it's a
Like they put you up in a hotel. They
This
like
big,
you don't
yeah.
watch the news. You don't. Nobody knows your name. You don't talk to anybody until you're fucking done.
Right. They were granted this new hearing to induce or
All that information came from the
Introduce
Pauly
this-
Shore movie Jury Duty.
introduce this new evidence, which there's a good chance this was going to go back to trial.
Oh yeah, now we're going to get into the most fucking infuriating part of this whole goddamn story.
So, what?
Oh
ends up
god, this one
happening-
fuck.
What ends up happening? They enter what is called an offered plea. Now, I've heard two different stories of whether the prosecutor offered this or the defense came up with this. I think in actuality it was a negotiation. The prosecution and the state of Arkansas did not want to retry this case because they knew there was a chance
There was no chance they were going to lose, and they knew it. On some level,
it depends on what
they were going to lose on the death sentence at least.
It depends on this evidence, new DNA possible evidence, and the defense knew it was a risk for both. So I think the defense come up. They were in negotiations to try to work this out, not take it back to trial. They come up somehow, some way. They come up with the offered plea. The offered plea. Now, what this is they plead guilty but maintain their innocence, and they get to go home.
Yeah.
So it was presented to.
So they're still guilty, but they can go home.
It was presented to these three. Listen, you can be out tomorrow. You plead guilty. You'll be out tomorrow. It's over.
Yeah.
Or we can take this to trial,
Yeah.
possibly, and you roll the dice. The Damien Eccles, who by this time has spent 18 years on death row, and the last 10 years was in solitary confinement, and Jessie Misskelley Jr. say, "Yep, we'll take this fucking deal." But the kicker was, for this deal, this plea to be, all three had to agree.
Yeah.
And Jason Baldwin said,
Fuck you.
we're taking it to trial. I am innocent.
See,
I
and
want to be proven innocent.
I respect both sides of it. I respect his thought process on that, and I respect what Jason Baldwin ended up doing. So go on, and then we'll circle back and touch on the rest of it. We'll handle it later. It's nothing bad.
So basically, eventually they got word to Jason, listen, Damien's life's on the line. He ended up taking the deal.
Because
well.
Damien Eccles would not have made it as long as that court case would have lasted.
Who knows?
Well,
who knows?
Okay, he had a chance. There's a pretty good chance Damien Eccles might have ended up incredibly ill and probably dying within that time.
I mean, it would have been ugly.
Yeah, it would have been better chance than not, at least.
So
he could have been just fine.
They take the deal. They plead guilty, maintain their innocence.
They get Jason Baldwin to take the deal because of that,
Yeah.
because of Damien Eccles' physical condition.
I even think when they did plea or do this in front of the judge, he even said, "I'm taking this deal. I did not want to take this deal, but I'm doing this because for Damien, they want to put him to death. I'm doing this for him, so I plead guilty."
Which, like, kudos to you, dude. That's some ride or die shit. Considering that he was one of your best friends that you hadn't seen really in over almost 20 years because they separated them. Like, they paid a ridiculous amount of attention to how much separation they put between those two. But but at the same time, like, I have no problem with his point of view either. Like, if I was that kid and I was 17 years old when I got locked up and I'm now 35, 36 years old,
Yeah.
and I've been in prison that whole time, and being Jason Baldwin, doing what Jason Baldwin did, getting an education, continuing to further myself and educate myself and shit like that, and doing all right in prison, until they had that conversation with me about what my friend was going through, I probably would have been like, no, fuck that. Fuck them. I've already done this long. I'm doing just fine. Let me do another 5 years so I can walk out of here and be like, yeah, I ain't got shit on my record.
Right.
And what's the other kicker to this deal, as far as I'm concerned? By withholding their innocence but accepting a guilty fucking conviction from the state, what happens then? They cannot go after the state government or the state judiciary system for reparations for the time that they spent in prison. Fuck the whole state of Arkansas on that one. That is some fucking horse shit.
Because according to the law, they are guilty.
They are guilty. And why are they guilty? Because one of them might have died in prison, so you use that to say, hey, you can get your friend out of prison if you stay guilty.
That's... Okay, let's kind of get into... There's been a lot... There are two sides to the story, like we talked about. There's those who believe 100% they fucking killed those kids, and 100% believe they are innocent. Honestly, let's be honest. I think
I'm gray area on this, just like everything else.
I'm leaning toward. I don't think. I will say. 100%,
yeah, I don't think that they did it, but at the same time, like I said before, I don't know enough. Nobody knows enough to say like 100% that you can't tie one of these kids in some way, shape, or form, even if it was just walking past that area and being like, "What's going on down there?" And they just kept moving.
If you had to held a gun to my head, or in this case, held a Rambo knife to my scrotum, I would say they didn't do it.
Yeah.
I can say with a lot of certainty, I do not think Jason Baldwin had anything to do with this whatsoever. He got caught up in this because he was friends with Damien. Now, Damien, right. I don't know. I don't think he did it, but he could have, maybe.
I mean, if you want my personal opinion, like my psychosomatic breakdown of this whole thing, the way that Damien Eccles carried himself with his smart-ass little banter back and forth and his running his fucking mouth and just doing all that dumb little shit since he was a kid. Traditionally, personal opinion, when a high school kid acts like that, he does not have the balls to go through with something like this.
I agree.
Now, if he just sat there stone-faced straight as fuck the whole time and just fucking stared at people while they talked, we might be able to have a conversation.
Now, some of the evidence... There has been many experts look at this case.
Yeah.
In the 18 years they were in prison. Some of the best in the field, FBI, some of the most, I forget the doctor's name that looked into the injuries, which were acute.
I know, I don't know the name. I know who you're talking about.
He worked on he's the most renowned forensic.
He worked on the Golden State Killer case.
I think he worked on the Kennedy shit.
Yeah. I don't know about Kennedy. I'm 99% sure he worked on the Golden State Killer.
It's in my other notes that I wrote down. He worked on the Kennedy.
I think it's amazing. We just did this whole show with no notes.
He basically says
that's why we wanted to fucking finish it up in this episode, because this shit has just been eating our brains for a month.
According to him, and there was another doctor, a forensic orthodontist or whatever the fuck they're called,
a forensic podiatrist,
a forensic dentist. They came, or especially the other guy.
I'd like to call the forensic massage therapist to the stand, please.
The injuries, like the scrotum and the skinning of the penis.
He said scrotum.
I said scrotum. Basically, was not done with a knife. It was,
or at least not the knife that they said that they had in evidence.
No, it was done. They're convinced it was turtles, animal perdition.
Yeah,
the turtles did it after the boys were in the water.
Well, and the only other I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, the only opposing view to that I saw was not, I don't remember if it was the scrotum specifically, but the injuries to the inner thigh of at least one of the kids that they said was animal predation. A forensic guy, a cold case forensic guy that I listened to and looked up the person he was talking about that also came up with this idea is they called it pickering, where a killer will like cause superficial wounds to somebody without any intent of killing him, just to get the reaction of hurting him.
It's a matter
and a lot of the shit on the inside of the thighs they think might have just been the dude poking them to be like, it hurts, doesn't it, you little fuck?
It's kind of a matter of opinion, but a lot of the scratches, according to some of the, was when a turtle will latch on.
Yeah.
It latches onto loose flesh.
Well, there was a lot of that shit, and it depends. Well, and there was a lot of that shit. It's just like the scratching on the chest arguably could just be from dragging.
Right.
Dragging the bodies to wherever they ended up.
Now, the jury's still out on that. I mean, there has been, there were snapping turtles, or alligator turtles, I think they're called.
I don't think there's alligator snapping turtles in Nebraska. Or in Arkansas. Is there?
Yeah.
In Arkansas?
Yeah. In
Really?
Arkansas. Well, at least the expert I listened to.
That doesn't.
was called
It's not crazy. I've just never heard of it. It's not crazy shot. They have them in Florida and Texas and shit.
Right.
Certain parts.
Well, Texas is right there.
I know. I'm just,
But
see, now you're stepping more into my world. You're talking about ecological.
right, I know. But that whole ditch, that whole thing was called Turtle Alley. They would hunt snapping turtles and shit there. So the people that say, well, there's no turtles out. No, there are.
Urban Ghost Hunters is confirming. It's like I said, I never knew for sure. I didn't know how north the alligator snapping turtle's range was.
That makes it interesting. It's very possible.
Because alligator snapping turtle realistically, alligator snapping turtle would personally, from some of the marks that I saw, would fuck that kid up worse than that body. An alligator snapping turtle fuck you up.
Well, maybe it got.
I would, judging from the marks that I saw, I would. A snapping turtle, yes. Right. Species doesn't really matter. Right. Here nor there. Because, like I said, there's so many different fucking points of view on this shit.
Right.
Because when I heard the Pickering thing, I was like, "That's fucking interesting." I had never heard that, and this was from a guy who used to do investigations on these involving these forensic tests and shit like that.
Now,
not saying he's right. It was just interesting.
Some of the most interesting, I don't want to say evidence, but opinions I heard was the man who actually built in the FBI the behavioral unit.
Yeah.
Who started it all.
Yeah.
Who fucking did the interviews of all these serial killers. The head of the created profiling.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they talked about him in the that Peacock Gacy documentary.
Looked at all the evidence in this case and profiled.
And it didn't fit those kids.
It didn't fit Damien.
Oh, pardon me, guys. Long weekend.
Basically, with a roundabout way, if he was profiling this case for the police, he would say, look for an authority figure of at least one of these kids. And the other two also saw him as an authority figure. This wasn't a ritualistic murder. This was a rage killing.
I was gonna say it was arguably a crime of passion.
And they said probably.
Now passion, just take your definition of choice on that passion.
Christopher Byers was probably the one who set this person off, because he was kind of a smart ass little kid and had ADD and shit and probably got mouthy, and
he was a kid.
He was actually, and if you look at the evidence, I believe he was the only one that was showed literature or whatever.
Ligature
marks on there. He was tied up while he was still alive.
Yeah.
The other two were tied up.
Post-mortem. Yeah.
So
because I remember seeing that, and people were like, "Why the fuck would you tie him up post-mortem?" I'm like, because if you're gonna try to stick a body underwater, a limb is going to pop up before anything else.
That is this criminal.
Yeah.
Profile basically said, but
God damn, I feel like anybody who's watching this doesn't watch this show regularly is like, why does that guy think that much about this stuff? Hi.
But
do you have time to talk about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?
But he kind of points finger to it more like this. They knew this. All three knew who it was. One person. All three.
I see. I'm in complete agreement with that. All three of these kids that died in this situation, whoever killed them, they all knew that person or those people to some extent.
And it was probably one got Christopher Byers got killed through a head trauma, got and the other two were just killed to
shut them up.
They were witnesses.
Yeah.
I honestly, that makes more sense to me than a satanic ritual killing.
Literally anything makes more sense than a satanic ritual to me.
Here's the thing about satanic ritual. In a satanic ritual, if, like I said, never been proven, it's a nice story. Chupacabra scratching.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. It's a nice story. Great Hollywood shit. You don't
fucking horse shit forensic investigation.
You don't need 3.
Right.
You don't. Sorry. That's overkill. It's
When I wear
not
my
gonna make your
glasses like
magic
this, like I'm
mojo any better.
sophisticated.
So I like this,
Yeah.
and this profiler, this is what they fucking do.
Right.
They're pretty good.
And I mean, yeah, it's a science, and science is never 100% in a
100%,
situation like
but it
this.
makes
But
sense.
it's more concrete than black T-shirts and Metallica posters.
It makes a hell of a lot more sense than that. So like I said, I don't know. All I know is, and this is where
Fuck Jerry Driver.
fuck Jerry Driver. I don't want to I ain't driving through fucking Arkansas.
Right.
I am surely not committing a crime. If I go to if you go to the court system in Arkansas, fuck it, you're fucked. If they convict these three on this circumstantial evidence, if I was sitting on this fucking jury, I'd be like, reasonable fucking doubt out my ass. There was reasonable doubt all over this fucking place.
Right. Like, God forbid I ever have to
But-
drive through Arkansas and they pull me over while I'm listening to Suicide Silence and they're screaming, "Where is your fucking God?" over and over again.
Here's the thing. I have an IQ higher than 78.
It's 82.
No, it's over 100, motherfucker. I'm smart.
101.
And a half. No. But, I firmly believe
I have an IQ for every Dalmatian.
I firmly believe in innocent until proven guilty. It is on the states.
Yeah.
It is on them to prove guilt. And like I said, if you let O.J. Simpson off, how in the fuck can Arkansas? That evidence was good. I mean, fuck. How much more?
They let
evidence
O.J.
you
Simpson off, and then they're having the trial for Jason Baldwin and Damien Echols, and they see the defense attorney come in, and he's just like, a plastic bag with a pair of gloves in it, and everybody's like, fuck!
need? So, but this and
Sorry,
I was big.
I scared Chalupa Cabra.
This is where this, and we'll kind of get into a little bit, maybe a little bit of who done it, because what speaks to me in this case, the three parents, the three groups of families,
Yeah.
that the parents of these three murdered boys, two of them actually, by the time it was said and done,
We're on the West Memphis 3 side.
they wanted them out. They said they did not do this.
Fuck me, man.
Stevie Branch's mom, Terry, what was her? Terry
Oh, that bitch? We'll just go with that.
Terry, Hobbs. She was the one that was fainted. There's that picture of her.
See, I keep saying every fucking episode, I think this whole thing could have been avoided. We had the Hobbs. Where the fuck was Shaw in all this?
The Rock was.
God damn it.
The Rock was busy.
Get your fucking shit together, Dwayne.
And the Byers. Of course, the mom's dead. She died in '96, but the stepdad's still alive. What?
I just smiled at the camera for no reason when you said that. That was
The
fucking...
only ones that really kept quiet about and they haven't spoke were the Moores.
Yeah.
I think they hold on from everything. They still hold on to
Because they did it.
the fact they did it. But two out of the three, and
I don't think that they did it.
Stevie Branch's mom, I think her name's Hobbs. She's convinced that her ex-husband, his stepfather, who was the hair that they found in the shoelaces on the boys after they were...
See, but that's my thing. That's all, like, what do they call it?
Secondary
Secondary, yeah,
transfer.
secondary transfer. Yeah, like,
But at least that's more DNA than what
it
they had.
is.
There
It
was
is.
no
Don't get me
DNA
wrong.
from
Like,
the
like,
West-
I mean,
DNA
I'm not
from
saying
West
don't go
Memphis,
down that, don't go down that rabbit hole. But like, it's
he also-
very, very. It's not. I don't find it to be very hardcore concrete at all.
But he also fits the
Into
profile.
there at
No, he fits the profile. He fits the profile out like a
yeah.
motherfucker.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
It's a clusterfuck. I don't think. I think this is one of those ones that's going to be a cold case forever. I think sometimes in the next 20 years, some dude's gonna be dying on fucking death row or in prison for life, and he's gonna be like, "I killed the kids in West Memphis," and then
That
2
ain't
months
gonna-
later,
it's
some
not
other
gonna
guy
happen.
across the nation's gonna say it, just like every other fucking murder.
Here's what has really struck me. What I'm taking from this, like I said, I don't know if they did it or not. I'm leaning toward they didn't do it.
I'm sorry for all the odds. Goddamn, I'm a
thing I
CP
know,
boy.
One thing I know for fucking sure, I was full bore death penalty before I started looking into this case.
I still am. Depending.
If you can,
If somebody sits there and like, yeah, I raped and murdered those 5 little girls, fuck you. You're dying, boy.
if the evidence supports it, there's DNA evidence. But
But at the same time, personal opinion, I think that like if somebody was like, I raped all of your children and killed them, It shouldn't be. Fuck the state.
Well,
Handcuff that person, and let those two parents go in a room and do whatever they please, and then they come out, wash their hands, and everybody's fucking done with it.
It depends on the case.
Just like if somebody came out and they were like, I murdered those 3 boys. This is how I did it. This is what I did. I can tell you things that without a doubt, without any type of thing saying that I didn't do it, 100% can prove that I did it. Any living family members of those people should be able to take their licks and beat that person within an inch of their life. And if they are still alive, you just fucking slit their throat and call it a day.
Just to play devil's advocate, if this was, say, if that confession in that scenario you just put out there was, say, the father of the suspect.
Yeah.
No. Because if my daughter committed a murder, you damn right I'd take the fucking hit for it. I confess. So if there's,
I think within reason.
If there's DNA,
I think if your daughter came to you and was like, and told you that, and you were like, why? And she was like, 'cause they cut in line at Starbucks. You'd be like, fuck you, you're going to jail. Like, you're stupid.
But if there's DNA evidence, you get a confession. There's DNA evidence linking them to. Okay, I see it. But
or better yet, lock them up for life, and once a month the family gets to come beat the fuck out of them.
But
that's even better.
If you can sentence Damian Eccles, whether he did it or fucking not, it has no bearing on the fucking case. Even if he fucking did it, if you can sentence him to die, put him on death row with the amount of horse shit fucking evidence that they had, go fuck you, Arkansas. We should. And if you live in Arkansas,
I'll give you that. Considering how this went and the fact that he got to the death penalty, yes, I can see the argument of just abolish the death penalty in general because it's fucking horseshit.
Bullshit.
On this note,
on
yeah.
this note.
Yeah.
On this
like hands down, no, unequivocal. You did it.
How
fuck
many motherfuckers have we put to fucking death like Damian Eccles?
I don't know.
Whether they did
because the crazy thing is, like, I watch all kinds of documentaries. We both know that. Most of the things I've seen on death row, I don't think I've seen one documentary on any death row on any prison in the United States where whoever they interviewed from that death row didn't go, yeah, I did this, and realistically, at least within the eyes of the law, I deserve to be executed for it. I don't think I've seen one person withhold their innocence on death row.
I'm sure they're.
I mean, yeah, they do. Sure that doesn't make good TV. Of course, they wouldn't interview that guy. You know what I mean? They want the guy that's gonna be like, yeah, I raped and murdered that lady.
And if any of you listening or watching are from Arkansas, leave now.
I mean, you're probably all right. You're probably all right. Fuck your state judicial system.
I say we fucking send out a little flyer. Say, listen, we are dropping the bomb on you, motherfuckers, like we did to your people. You have
to go there.
You have 24 hours to get the fuck out.
Oh, so you're going to give Arkansas 24 hours to get the fuck out, but you didn't give Hiroshima or Nagasaki shit. You literally went for Hiroshima and Nagasaki because they're the most populated fucking cities in Japan left.
Yes.
You fucking guaylo.
But
you know what that shit means?
Arkansas.
You know what guaylo means? It means round eye in Mandarin.
Fuck Arkansas.
Fuck the judicial system of Arkansas in the early 90s.
I'm sure there's lovely people in Arkansas.
Yeah, I'm not going to condemn a whole state, but at least the judicial system and the court system of West Memphis, Arkansas in 1993 can literally all... Here's what they can do.
Look at Dick.
Here's what they can do. They can take whatever the last body that was buried in their county within the time period that there is still flesh on the rotting corpse, dig it up, and then they can all suck on that corpse's fuck stick.
Okay.
I think that's fair.
I think we've touched. I'm done
fair
with this. I think Patreon episode.
I cannot wait to get a new subject now.
We are going to.
I've been so fucking stuck on this, and it's been fucking with my head so much.
I think for the Patreon episode, we're going to do maybe Wednesday, Thursday.
I can do any of those days.
Well, when we record the next episode,
I'm off tomorrow. I'm off early-ish regular time Wednesday, and I'm off Thursday. I can do it any day.
When we record our next episode, because we're doing 2 a week now. We missed last week.
On and off.
But we're
not every week.
We're going to record another one this weekend. We'll do a little Patreon.
Yeah. That sounded shitty. I would love to do 2 a week, but the fact that I have 2 days off this week is a fucking godsend, so please bear with us.
Yes. We are... what was I saying? We we'll do a Patreon episode this Thursday, and we might talk about Damian Eccles now.
There's a lot to talk about.
About what he's been up to, because
Yeah, the other two have been kind of laying low. Damian Eccles has been in the public eye like a motherfucker since they
we'll
got out.
kind of give which is kind of flies in the face of what.
Actually, Joy sent me a DM about that. She was like, the things that pop up on my YouTube now, and it was a Damian Eccles interview somewhere.
Yeah, because he is into some weird shit now.
I mean, he's a writer. He's all kinds of shit. He's not doing anything that surprises me. The way he behaved during this court, like, I didn't expect him to change that much because he's been in prison for that long. Like, no, he's still gonna come out.
Well,
he's still gonna be. How do I say this? Because I don't want to sound like an asshole. I don't have a problem with Damian Eccles as he is now, but he's still a little bit attention grabby. You know what I mean? Like he's always been the type to want to be more in the public eye than the other two.
Well, I mean, what I mean is that he's into now, he's more into the magic shit, which basically is just law of attraction.
Magic with a K.
Law of attraction type shit.
Not Magic the Gathering.
Manifestation, which, is the kind of shit that...
Go for it, bud.
293 got him...
Would have got you locked up forever.
And put on death row.
You're a fucking witch, sir. Drown him. If he does not drown...
So we'll kind of talk about that.
He is a witch. If he drowns, he is dead, but he's cool by me.
So we'll kind of talk about that for the Patreon. If you want to support the podcast and hear that episode, go to patreon.com/GITN podcast. For a mere $2, you can get all the bonus episodes we do.
For $5, you can get a sticker that we'll never mail to you. We still owe at least 2 stickers since I've been on this show.
One.
Bree and somebody in the UK.
She's only $2. No, we don't. We only owe
I'm
Bree.
done.
But
I don't know what
go to
know what to believe in anymore.
Follow us on all the social medias, and you kind of hopefully maybe someday we'll get back to the Sunday recording of this podcast or this episode. Hopefully someday, maybe
sometime in the next 69 years
before we hit 500 episodes. Hopefully.
Fuck.
But
check out the Instagram. The Instagram's
Night
moving.
Night.
Apparently, so is the Twitter. I don't have the Twitter. I post everything to Twitter, but I don't have the. I need to do that.
Yes. Twitter at night at night_ghost, and there is a Facebook, but whatever. Twitter.
I mean, we've been posting to the Facebook. You're welcome to go to the Facebook.
Yes.
Just search "Ghosts in the Night." It'll pop up.
But
just like
Instagram
my day.
and Twitter are really the 2 best ones to follow us on. You will get updates on when we go live. And
I've
all
been
that
posting some
shit.
fucking fire serial killer memes on Instagram because motherfuckers love serial killers.
All right, I think that is going to wrap it up. Thank you.
Yeah, I need a cigarette and like a fucking nap.
We are going to
never talk about this again.
Well, I'm sure we'll bring it up. But next week, hopefully we're going to lighten it up a little bit.
Oh, for sure. I have to.
Yeah, and
I have to have something that I can pop off a little bit more about.
Because I'm kind of...
It is kind of mentally worn me out a little bit.
I'm burned out of this. So thank you, everybody, for checking out the podcast. Thank you for everybody in the live stream who chatted up. Everybody, I appreciate you guys all. We wouldn't be nothing without you.
Finkel is Einhorn, and Einhorn is Finkel.
Yes. Something like that, but different.
Oh, we have merch, too.
Oh, yeah, I guess we do merch.
I mean, I was talking about it earlier. I want to buy some, so everybody else should fucking buy some.
That's Spreadshirt.
I got to get that tie-dye Paragon Jack shirt, dude.
We're going to get you one. Just the link's in the description. Just go to it says the Spreadshirt.
It's the longest link ever.
It's that link in the down in the description, or it'll be in the show notes. So thank you, everybody, for joining us, and we will see you possibly Thursday night again for a little extra episode where we talk. Basically, the shit show's back, like we talked about. Where we're just going to...
Thursday!
Where we just shoot the shit for a little bit.
At Phil's house. You want to hear 2 fucked nuts talk about literally nothing that matters in the world? Tune in and get your fucking salads tossed.
The only thing I guarantee, there will probably be alcohol involved. Topic-wise, we have...
No.
We don't know what we'll talk about.
No, I don't...
And then next Monday
I don't alcohol.
The next Monday we'll have another topic to cover, and we might let you guys in on what that is Thursday. we'll talk about it. So thank you once again. We really appreciate you. Be sure to share this with your friends. We are actually growing pretty well, actually. Got
Yeah, the Instagram's doing like consistent.
3 or 4 YouTube subscribers this week.
I don't even know how many. Like we're consistently like boop,
Yeah,
boop, boop,
we're getting
here and there on Instagram.
YouTube is going up in
I started
views.
showing my fucking butthole and.
But
famous.
the only reason we're growing is because of you guys. Thank you. So continue to share it. Hit the like button. And most importantly,
Strap your friends to office chairs with duct tape and make them watch and listen to us
Yeah.
and subscribe to
don't
us.
worry about that kidnapping charge.
Yeah, it's okay.
We will not pay your attorney fees.
And just don't sodomize them.
All right. We'll see you guys, everybody. We will see you guys Thursday night.
Love, peace, and chicken grease.
Take care, everybody.
Fuck Jerry Driver.